to know just where does the room begin? I mean, just back like I never left. Back for the nighttime stream. Got the raspy voice going. This is just how my shit gets at night. It's no voice filters, no games, no gimmicks. It's just me, Crypto Glenn, the same G I've always been, with the same mission I've always had. That's to help y'all find success in this crypto space amongst a land of content creators that just put out fake information that's just not accurate. BB, welcome. Oscar, welcome. Harvey Specter, welcome. Good to see you here, family. Hafe's in the building. Rafi's in the family. Fit Mom is here. Always good to see you, Fit Mom. Eric is in the building. Appreciate y'all running those likes up too, man. That means a lot. Really, really appreciate that. Pluto is in the building. Pluto, I told you earlier, man, I was looking for you. I was looking for you earlier. Harvey, I appreciate the Harvey, man. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate y'all sharing that live out as well. You guys are amazing. Who sent that out? Deuces, well, I appreciate you, Deuces, for sharing that live, man. Thank you, Pluto, for sharing that live. So in the crypto space, there's a little bit of a divide. There's people who believe that some cryptos are not in a bear market. There are some people who are out there who would want you to believe that even though cryptos being down as bad as they are, everything is still just fine. That live was hectic, to say the least. Yeah, we gonna get to it. And you know what? It might be okay. But the fact of the matter is, just being transparent in the name of being objective. Once you cross a certain threshold, you need to be looking. No, she didn't mute me. No, I left. I got home. I was like, I gotta go live. I gotta talk to my people. But once you cross a certain threshold, especially in crypto, you are in a bear market territory. And once you cross that threshold, you need to be mindful of the way that you are moving in the space. Because if you're not, and we're going to take a look at it here on the chart, but if you are not, you will end up doing things like catching a falling knife, and those things can kind of catch you. They can be devastating, costly mistakes. So as always, before we get started, let me just set a few housekeeping rules here. The information I'm going to share with you here is just my thoughts and opinions. Do not take what I'm going to tell you here tonight as financial advice. If anything, please take it as a foundation to do your own research. I'm going to give you information, and I'm going to give you it backed up by facts from credible, reputable sources. Is that okay? If that's all right, if I can do that for y'all tonight, just put a 1 in the chat for me. Just put a 1 in the chat for me if y'all would be okay if I did that for you tonight. My man Deuces Wild says 1, let's get to it. Pluto says 1, let's get to it. Harvey Specter says 1, let's get to it. Harmony, I appreciate the follow. Thank you so much. I hope what you'll find on this channel is me just coming, doing videos, going live, regular basis, giving you guys objective information. Flocka says ones is up. Ones is up, right? So without any further ado, let's just go ahead and get to it. If you are ever searching for a credible place to find information from regarding finances, trading, I encourage you to check out Investopedia. I keep a hot link to this on my browser, on my phone. If they had a paper version of this I could keep in my back pocket, I would. What do I think of the Calvin Hill live? I think there was some misleading information. I think he is drastically mistaken as to why people have some of the takes that they have on him. It's got nothing to do with envy. It's got nothing to do with influence. I'm just going to tell you like this. Just like when you're out and about and when a situation pops up and someone pulls something off their hip, but they don't know you and yours left the house with something on their hip. And now everybody's pulled, right? Everybody's come off the hip, and now we're all looking at each other, and it's like, listen, you thought they stopped making those when you got yours? It's not about influence. It's not about envy. It's about being objective. That is the thing that I have always stood 10 toes down on, as they say. So when I come to you or I go on somebody else's live and I say, hey, some of these alts are very much in bear market territory and people want to fight me tooth and nail, you want to fight me vehemently, that is fine. I'm not going to lie to you. I might get on here, I might tell you a joke, I'm not going to tell you a lie. Investopedia. Bear market guide, definition, phrases, examples, how to invest during one. What we want to see, here's the definition. And right here at the top of the page, again, Crypto Glenn, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. A bear market is a prolonged decline in stock prices with major indices falling by 20% from their all-time highs. Let me highlight that just in case maybe someone doesn't know where I'm looking. Jesse, yes, the bear market is the time where you want to buy, but you've got to be strategic in when you buy. Right? Because keep in mind what I've been saying, keep in mind what this definition says. This definition says, I'm going to read it again. A bear market is a prolonged decline in stock prices where the major indices falling by 20% or more from their highs. I appreciate you, Mark. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Do you think there might be well be a way back, and do you want to see don't want to see that happen? Of course I want to see that happen, right? Like, I'm an investor just like you guys. I'm a trader, I'm an investor. I have short-term positions that I trade, I have long-term positions that I hold. I want people to do well in this space. But if we're going to do well in that space, we've got to alter the conversations that we're having. It can't just be everything's going to be fine all the time. And when we have canaries in the coal mine that are going off, we've got to pay attention to it. So do I think there could be a way back? Yes, and I'll talk about that. But right now, what I want to just get across is the position that a lot of these are in. We took a look at this. Was it yesterday or was it today, y'all? Come on, give me my chart. There we go. I think it's this one. Thank you, Harvey, for sharing that live out, family. So we took a look at this yesterday, I believe it was. It was yesterday. You know what's crazy about this? From yesterday till now, these have dropped substantially more. What's up, Tampa Bay Homes? How you doing? Came in like, you got a house you want me to buy. Hey. So real fast, let's go back to the definition. A bear market is a prolonged decline in stock prices where the major indices falling by 20% or more from their all-time highs. Let's go back to the chart. There we go. Let me move this out the way. Can everybody see that? I'll move this over. Everybody can see that. So if we go back to the high, when many altcoins put in their highs, all is well, blessings. Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear. When many altcoins put in their highs back in December of 2024. Now yesterday, when we ran this, Crow was down 60. But Glenn, that was yesterday. Today's today. Okay, cool. Let's just bring it down where it's at today. 67%, almost 70%. Again, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I want you to have objective information. So if we know the definition of a bear market is when your asset prices retrace 20% or more from the recent high. We all agree on that. Here we're looking at Crow that's down almost 70%, and it's been there since when? January? When did we first cross 20%? December. Right? Did we kind of rebound? But definitely by December, we had eclipsed 20%. Now, just eclipsing 20% is not enough. Admittedly, right? Because I want to be transparent. I want to be objective. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Half the battle of you guys being successful, I don't want to say guys, but you all being successful, is making sure what? You've got accurate information. So if we know the marker is 20%, that's boom. You hit 20%. Imagine you're in a fighter jet. You're getting ready to fire missiles. You know how you got to lift up on that trigger gate? You hit 20%, trigger gate gets lifted. When you start encroaching on a month and a half, fire. When you start encroaching on a month and a half, and you're retracing down farther, you got to understand that is not good. I see y'all requesting assets here. We're definitely going to take a look at those. I see your questions. Let me just work through this real fast. So in December, we hit 20% plus. January, we start hitting 30, 40, 50. Now here we are at the end of February, 67%. Now to Jess's question, isn't it when you want to buy in the bear market? Yes. Assuming you have reached the floor, because remember what I just said, 20%, that's your magical trigger, right? So let's say we get here, we're 28%, this is December, and you're like, oh damn, 20% retracement from the high, boom, we in a bull market. Now's the time to buy. Now's the time when I should really start going in, right? So you start buying here. You bought the dip, right? You were here, it dips. You're like, cool, I bought the dip. I bought the dip. You feel me? Slides another 15, 20%. Well, now you got to buy the dip again. And then it slides another 15, 20%. Well, now I got to buy the dip again. And now it slides again. And it's another 15%. You got to buy the dip again. This is what's called catching a falling knife. You think you're buying at these zones where price has reached the floor and you think, oh, everything's on sale, I'm getting a good deal, I'm golden, I'm doing the smart thing. But in a bear market, you are looking for sales. In a bull run, you are looking for buys. You've got to change the psychological mentality that you're rolling with. So you hit that 20% and you're thinking everything is still buy. Whole time you're catching falling knives. You are running through your dry powder at an expedited rate. So by the time you get down here, especially if you're not really, so if you're saying every time I go in, I'm going to go in with 100, and maybe the total person I'm working with is $1,000 or $10,000, but every time it slides, I'm going to go in with 100. You may get down to the bottom, and if you've just been buying haphazardly, no system, you know, you haven't been moving through it methodically at all. By the time maybe you actually find a floor, you're at a dry powder. You can't further lower your target cost of acquisition or your total cost of acquisition. Does that make sense? So not only did price slide more than 20%, since you put in your high in December, you've also put in 2 months where you have been sliding further and further and further and further. In what universe is that bull market behavior? We're not talking about, oh, it was in an uptrend, but you know, it slid 3%, it slid 5%. This is 20+%, and it's not just on Crow. It's not just Crow. ETH was 41 yesterday. Today is 39. High. Flare back in December. 55% retracement. You've been sliding for 2 months. In what universe is this bull market activity? You want me to keep going? Let's keep going. Damn, Glenn, how'd you know Doge's going to go down that far? Yeah. Again, y'all know the live we all just came over from. You think they stopped making the ability to learn TA when you learn how to chart? From the highs back in December to where it's at now, down 56%. You've been sliding for 2 months. You want me to keep going? Let's keep going. A little bit of housekeeping. If you ever get to a point where it looks like I've frozen and the screen is spinning and spinning and spinning, stay with me. I'm going to reboot. That normally happens whenever the computer crashes. Is this all I look at? No, King, it's not all that I look at. I'm going to do the same thing that I do whenever we get to having these real conversations. I'm going to give you the full effing checklist that you need to be on the lookout for. Case in point. But if I do that, you got to do me a solid. You have to go to my profile, go all the way back to February, March of 2022, and look at when I called when the bear market started. And if you've been in since 2021, 2022, take a look when everybody else called the start of the bear market. I'm going to lay it out for you. Because I told people, hey, it was like February or March 2022. I was like, yo, we are definitely in a bear market. And everybody's like, no, we're not. Where do you think I got out versus where do you think everybody else got out? I'm about to lay it all out for you. Don't worry. I'm about to lay it all out for you. This is FET. You put in a high in December. Currently, you're down 70%. You've been sliding for 2 months. But don't worry. It's still a bull run. Don't worry. It's still a bull run. The graph. High in December. Currently, down 64, 65%. Maybe if I just bump that down a little more. 64, 65%. But don't worry. You're still in a bull run. Let's go back to the textbook definition. A bear market is a prolonged period decline in stock prices where the major indices are falling by 20% or more for their all-time highs. Is that not a high? Is that not a high? Is that not a high? Well, actually, Glenn, the high was put in back here in March because the bull run started in 2020, November 2020. Okay, cool, whatever. Let's go back. You're down 75%. You want me to keep going? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. H-bar, high in December. Currently, down 50%. Harvey, appreciate the heart me. US Crypto, appreciate the roses. Block to the blockchain, I like that username. Appreciate you for the heart me as well. Thank you, family. You guys are wonderful. Thank you. Down 50%. You've been sliding for 2 months. Right? So if I got in here, oh, it's slide, I'm going to buy the dip. And don't get me wrong, I like buying the dip. I think buying the dip is, you're never going to hear me say buying the dip is a strategy that does not work. Buying the dip in 2021 had my portfolio doing jumping jacks, but I did it in a very methodical manner. A very, very methodical manner. Slide a little more here. I got to bring that down. Come on. 50%. Tell me when it's over, I'll get back in. Been out since the end of November. I mean, it's smart, man. You might have missed a little bit of the pump from altcoins being put into December, but you're still up majorly. Let's keep going down the list. ICP. When did ICP put in this high? You're down 70% on ICP. If I go local high back in, what is this, December? You're down 58, 60%. We gonna do Jasmine? Fuck it, let's do Jasmine. Everybody likes Jasmine, right? High back in December, right? This is when a lot of altcoins put in their high was December. You're down 70, 67%. Manta. 90 fucking percent. Nobody is taking shots out of jealousy. If you think I'm taking a shot, or if you think anybody else is taking a shot at you, it's because we are not being objective. We are not having objective-based conversations. And then we wonder why the people who turn into our lives, not my lives, because I keep it a bean with y'all, but the people who turn into other content creators' lives, their portfolios are down bigly. They're down bigly. So if you're not paying attention to reputable content creators who can be objective with you and tell you, hey man, this shit's starting to slide, you might want to start looking for the door. How much money have you lost out on? Now, you don't have to answer that question in chat. Tell yourself the answer. Now, I know I asked y'all to do me a solid. And I asked y'all to go to my page and see in 2022, Bigly, Big Nate, Bigly, and actually see when I was telling people the top was in for Bitcoin, the top was in for the crypto market, and we were now into a bear market. What do you mean you can't find it? Damn, that's wild. And then you go on and be like, oh, it's about influence. It's about influence. They hate me because they don't have the influence. Bro, look how many fake pages of mine that I have. It's not about the influence, man. They didn't stop making influence when you got yours. It's about you not being objective. There's not a hating bone in my body, man, but I legitimately want people to win in this space, and I think other people just want to fill their own pockets. We're not the same. And I don't not want to like Calvin. Like, I want him to be successful. I want his community to be successful, but it's like, you put me in a corner and you make it hard. So we're just going to keep scrolling. Actually, I might just hit the end button down. We got to go all the way back. This is summer 2024. We got to go back about 2 years. February. I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to show you how I knew. So a lot of y'all, you're like, I don't really know how Glenn got his start on TikTok. I'm going to tell you how. I've been in the crypto space since 2017. My number one thing has always been like, all the things I post on social media, be it YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, is for historical context, because I want people to be able to go back and see what I've said and see how much of it has come true and see how much of it hasn't. Zaytoven, appreciate the follow, man. Thank you so much. King Louis. Calvin gets his. I can't even say you lying, man, because I've had so many people tell me. I came over from Calvin's live, like, bro told me to do this, I got wrecked. Bro told me to do that, I got wrecked. We're working on a video now, like I saw it in there. Like, the reason why I rock with y'all so hard, man, y'all will come back and tell me what other people are saying, right? And so I'll do a live and people will be like, well, so-and-so said this is going to happen by this date, or someone said that the altcoin season was going to happen by February. And we get a chance to dissect it and see what's true and see what's not, or see what has a high probability of happening and what doesn't have a high probability of happening. When someone told me that Calvin said alt season was going to kick off in I'm sorry, not November, but February. Hold on. I said, number one, we are in an environment, like, let's just be clear. We are in an environment, right? And whether people you are having conversations with, true technologists or not, crypto is in an environment right now where you cannot lean too heavily, too much upon what the market used to do to get a decent gauge of what the market is likely going to do in the future. Last cycle, maybe, but you're in an environment right now where so many things have never happened before. So when you're in an environment of new things happening, what's up, Fat Mac? In an environment where new things are happening, how can you go back and in the same leg rely on what used to happen? The data is going to be skewed. Y'all never did like those classroom experiments where you had a control variable, an alternating variable, then you change the control variable, or you change the alternating variable and you get different results? This is an alternating variable. Prior to this cycle, Bitcoin had never, listen to me, Bitcoin had never hit multiple all-time highs before the halving. You are now in that environment. Before the halving, this cycle, I think we had like what, 5, 6, maybe 7 all-time highs. It was unheard of. So when I say at a certain point in time, you've got to allow for new market variables to develop for you to get a good understanding of what could be possible. Understand where I'm coming from. We don't have the same variables in the market that we had before. 2017, whole entire market cap was half a trillion dollars, 500 billion, $500 billion. It didn't take a whole lot of money to move alts. 2021, we had a whole lot of pandemic money floating around. We had a whole lot of unemployment money floating around. There was a lot of liquidity. Rates were cheap. You were going to get an altcoin season. You know what you don't have now? You don't have low rates. You don't have liquidity. Retail has no money. It's not a great environment for risk on assets. So why we're not having conversations centered around macro variables is beyond me. I think this is summer 2023, so we're getting there. That's wild, man. People just get on here and just say anything. Most alts are almost, if not past their bear market lows. Yeah. We got market fatigue, market participation fatigue starting to set in. And your estimation, what do you think Bitcoin will have? We'll take a look at that. We'll go from like its most recent all-time high. I don't think it's going to do the 99. I don't think it's going to do the 90% bid, just because, excuse me, if Bitcoin, you know, what is it, 108, 109? I don't think it's going to go to 54, because if it does, there's going to be a ton of institutions that are going to liquidate it, and they won't let their positions drop that far. There would be too much money in Bitcoin to see it drop that substantially. I don't know if you're going to get a 50% cut, 50% reduction in Bitcoin's price. Hey, the live's been restored. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Thank you. That's the other thing. You get on here and start telling the truth and people don't like to. Like, let's report this live. I'm not going to do anything but jump on over to YouTube or Twitter. Come on. All right, I'm not going to do this anymore. This is 2022. Okay, so this would have been earlier in the year. We're now in 2022. I can tell from that Twitter post I just saw on my profile. Come on, load up. For sure, Zay. How to spot the bottom. We'll go over that. Why are these not populating? Is it really going to make me just click on one? Let's try this one. Is this it? It's not it. I know you can lie. So if it's blacked out, it's not gonna put a video up. That's what y'all trying to tell me? That's what you're trying to tell me. Okay. So long story short, there was back when meme coins were kind of entering their heyday. What's up, Kelly? What's up, Angel? How y'all feeling? Whoa! What's up, player? How you feeling, fam? So back when meme coins were really starting to get their run, this is like 2021, 2022. There was a gentleman by the name of Hinak. He was a black guy. He had a really interesting partner. They were a young couple. I think they were being put up by a company. I see we got some guest requests. Hang tight, I'll get you in there. And I think he was being paid to promote Saitama, I think was the name of the coin. I'd have to go back and look. And so I think they were paying for a lot of views, promoting, like really trying to get some eyes on this thing. He's on Twitter now. What do you mean? Had to leave. The mods are ridiculous. Oh, you should have came over just to see what we was talking about, not just because the mods are ridiculous. Come on, Kelly. Nah. So you are within your right to do what you please. So his name was Hinak. He was promoting Saitama, and he had put out a video, kind of same stuff Calvin is saying. Like, hey man, like anybody thinks this is a bear market, you're crazy. And I stitched that video and I showed him some of the same things I'm about to show y'all. And I said, if you can't see, we are in a bear market. You're getting ready to lose a fuck ton of money. And guess what happened? Dude lost a lot of money. But I wanted to show you that just for the conversation of historical context. When was this one actually published? 12/8/20. So first, let me say thank you for this question. It's an excellent question. I was going to just reply via text, but sometimes TikTok does not give you. It definitely would have been farther back. At any rate, TikTok won't let me be great. Maybe if I can find it, I have to figure something else out. So everybody wants to know, how do you know when the top is in? I'm about to show you. Now I want you to pay very close attention to this, because I have not seen anybody cover this, because no one else has utilized this. This is something that I have been able to discover just from charting and trying to put stuff together, trying to throw stuff up against the wall, see what sticks, see what doesn't stick. And I know I have it here on one of these charts. Wait, Glenn, you could tell that we were going to blow up to the level that we... Yeah, this was back in 2022. I knew exactly where the market was going to go. I probably have videos of this covering this on TikTok, on some live somewhere. More on that later. Oh, Glenn, what are you charting here? Inverse head and shoulders? You knew the market was going to... Yeah. You see all of this? All this doodling? Right? You probably looking at this like, Glenn, I can't even make this shit out. Nico, I'm going to get to your comment here in a second. I need to find this chart. Because I really don't feel like redrawing it. I'm not going to lie to you. I will if I have to, but I don't feel like it. Is it in this one? I just need to remember. Like, I often reference this chart, and I just need to remember where I put it. Like, I created it. I just need to know where the bleep I put it. So I want you to be mindful of people if they start talking about this, because you'll know, like, whether y'all know it or not, so much of my information gets poached. It's taken and people try to pass it off as their own, and it's a very, very cheap thing to do. It's really gonna make me redraw. I'm gonna redraw it and then I'm gonna find it. That's how it literally always happens. Alright. Well, if you gotta redraw it, you gotta redraw it. Fuck it. Well, it's cool. At least you guys get an opportunity to see how I do it. But before I do that, let me just check these again. It's going to be on one of these charts where I have my moving averages. So that's that one. I don't think I have my liquidity measure. It's not that one. Don't leave this live. You're going to miss something really, really good. Just bear with me. It's not that one. Bro, what did you do with this chart, man? It's not that one. I don't even know I have so many Bitcoin charts. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just comparing and seeing who has what data for what chart. Is that it? That's not it. That's not it. That's Bitcoin dominance. Fuck. Is it on the messy 4? It's probably on the messy 4 hour. So I've got my charts written out, and like I used to be all over the place, and now I've kind of figured out a system that I think works. So I've got like the day chart that I'll mark up, and I'll mark that up on my messy day chart so I don't contaminate all the lower charts in the messy 4 hour, messy 15 minutes, so on and so forth. Glenn's digital residency ID info was poached by Cal. Like, thank you. A lot of my stuff is taken and people try to pass it off as their own. It's cheap. I use Crypto Never Sleep stuff frequently. And after I give people the information, I'm like, by the way, this is not my information. It came from Crypto Never Sleeps. You need to give that man a follow. It's really going to make me redraw it. That is annoying. If I draw this and then I'm going to find it, I don't know. Y'all just give me like a digital high five or some shit. Those are longs and shorts. That. You know what? Maybe it was on a clean chart because maybe I wanted it without all the markings. Real fast. Let's check messy 15. My bad, y'all. I know this doesn't make for the best user experience, but just bear with me. It's gonna maybe do it. Last time, let's check clean chart. Maybe I marked it up on the clean chart. Because maybe I wanted a nice clean canvas. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Oh, not over there. It's not over there. I got two more clean, or one more clean chart I can check after this if it's not here. So my clean charts are charts I try not to have marked up, so when y'all ask me to look at stuff on TikTok, I can just pull it up on a brand new clean chart. That's why I call it clean chart. Ah! I knew it! I was 30 seconds away from having to redraw this. Do you know how pissed I would have been? Alright. So Glenn, how do you know when the top was in on Bitcoin in 2022, and then what are you seeing compared to what you have going on today? I'm about to tell you. So in order to understand this, first and foremost, you have to understand chart structure. You have to understand trading on chart structure. Everybody ready? Give me one in the chat if you're ready. Want to make sure everybody's here, everybody's focused. Harvey Specter says I'm ready. Let's do it. Pluto, Kelly's ready. All right, cool. Let's do it. Let's roll. Zaytoven's ready. Woke's ready. Bless is ready. Crypto with Frank is ready. When you have a chart, if you all ever ask me to look at a chart, if you ever ask me, Glenn, how do I trade? If you ever ask me anything technical analysis related, you're going to notice that most times I'm going to start with the same thing 8 out of 10 times. And that is, I gotta get the chart structure. Are we going up? Are we going down? The best way, hear me, the best way to get that figured out is when you look at a chart, can you find a high, a low, a higher low, a higher high? If you have nothing else and you understand that, you can understand trends. You got a low, a high, a higher low, a higher high. That's an uptrend. If you've got a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, that's a downtrend, right? With that little bit of information right there, you are already significantly farther ahead of most people that will try to do technical analysis and just pull some bullshit out the crack of their ass. Class is in session. I'm about to bake somebody's noodle. Okay? Now, once you have chart structure, you need to know how lows, especially if it's going up, you need to know how a low is validated. Everybody said it. How is low validated? What's up, property lawyer? Drop a quick 16, I got you. Y'all not ready for that? Y'all be like, damn, Glenn got a lot of talent. Hold up, wait a minute. I like the build up of the beat. It's dope. This is a good one. So when you have your chart structure figured out, you know that you're in a high. You're trying to map your lows. You're trying to figure out, is this low really valid? A low is only valid if it leads to a brand new high. This low is valid because it put in this leg that took out this former high. This is a break of structure. If you are paying attention, I am dropping sauce on you. This is game. We looked at the H-bar chart yesterday. We looked at the H-bar chart today. It's all the same. 1 to 1, it's all the same. This low, excuse me. This low put in a leg that took out this high. This is a break of structure. This low was valid because it created a brand new high. It then dipped. This low was valid because why? It created the leg that put in a brand new high. This is break of structure. Everybody got that? When price starts to move, I swear to God, you are not going to get this from any other TA. One, because not everybody does TA the same. Respect, I admit that, like no shade. But everybody want to play shit close to the chest. Oh, if I teach you how I do it, you're not gonna come back and fuck with me. I don't give a fuck. No, don't get me wrong. Like, I like hanging with y'all, right? Y'all are cooler than the other side of the pillow. But what happens if I go outside tomorrow and I get smacked with a meteor? All right, y'all, let's tune into Crypto Glenn's live. Damn, where he at? Where he at? He ain't coming back because he got smacked by a meteor. Now you got to rely on somebody else to feed you. Let me teach you how to fish. Y'all that bought the ebook, you got version 2 of the ebook? This is in there. So if you haven't got it, you need to let me know so I can send it to you. And I know there's been a few of you that have emailed me, and I promise you, I'm going to email it to you. So when you've got your market structure, you know how your lows have been valid or validated. When price goes from that peak here and it starts to trade below the most recent higher low, you have now flipped sentiment. I need you to see how animated I'm getting. This shit can make you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Ask me how I know. Please take this serious. I'm practically begging you. Kelly, DM me the email if you haven't already. I think you have, but it might be buried in other DMs. Just DM me the email address you use. I'll get it to you. We're the one says facts about Gatekeeper Cal. Like, I want y'all to be successful, man. I really do. I really, really do. And I want to do it without having to bash other people, but y'all know me. I got to keep shit 100. I got to keep it on the level. So when you have price that starts to trade beneath the most recent higher low, this is a change of character. What this says is, hey, we were bullish, high, low, higher low, going up. Price came down and it flipped sentiment. You went from bullish to bearish. Rut row. Harvey, if you got the first ebook, DM me the email that you used. I'll get it to you. Price flips sentiment. It goes from bullish to bearish. Uh-oh. Everybody see as soon as you started. Let me just put in this little line right here to make sure we're all looking at the same stuff. Excuse me. Probably just burped into the mic. My bad, y'all. You see that? See how as soon as you created that change of character, price went bleh. Everybody see that? Marge, just rock with me, right? Let me get this out. I'm about to answer all your questions. You put the nickel in, you got to let the song play out. Boom. Price starts to trade below the most recent lower high, or higher low, rather, excuse me. You notice how price starts to trend. Higher time frame. Stop doing this 15, 10 minute, 3 minute bullshit. I'm cursing a lot. Let me chill. I don't want TikTok to, let me chill. You want to be a competent trader, start looking at the higher time frame. Yeah, but I got a day trade, man. All that doesn't matter until you can nail this down. Look at the higher time frame. Whatever you see show up on the higher time frame has a higher propensity of actually playing out in the market. This is why I'm on the daily. Price trades beneath the most recent higher low. Flip sentiment. You go from bullish to bearish. That's numero uno. We talked about this yesterday. Daily and weekly is a little much. Most times, I mean the daily, yeah. Weekly, like you're really trying to find the macro stuff, right? The problem, there's not a problem with the weekly. It takes longer, right? It can take months, half a year and a half to play out. So just be mindful of that. Shifty, I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. You're not gonna see nobody else go through this because I created this. And if you see anybody else talking about this, they got it here. They're trying to pass it off as their own work. It's cheap. That should let you know what kind of individual they are and if you should trust them or do business with them or whatever. That's the first. I call this the canary in the coal mine. That's the first one. Harvey, you could use the 8 hour. I try to keep it around the daily. 8 hour is more so for like a very specific thing. Again, remember what I said, like no two people are going to do TA the same way. That kind of falls in there. Like I like to use a 4 hour the daily, right? We'll talk about that though. Let me get through this. That's the first canary in the coal mine. There's like 4. The second is when you pull out that TA fib though, and you go from swing low to swing high though, and you start trading beneath that 50% fib retracement zone. Canary number 2. Canary number 3. When you start trading below your moving average, be it a 20, be it a 50. I like using a 20. Because with the 20, prices always got to revert back to the mean. Glenn, what the hell does that mean? It means prices got to come back to that moving average. And if you start to get consecutive bumps underneath it, it's a ribbity wrap. Third canary. Fourth canary, when you come over here to this nice little tool that I like using, I always lose it. There it is. You go from your top 20%. 20%. Oh! A bear market is a prolonged decline in stock prices where the major indices falling by 20% or more from their all-time highs. See how that's the all-time high? Let me just do this for you again. I don't want y'all to think I'm trying to shiest you. Here go to all-time high, right? Last cycle, 2021, 2022, Bitcoin all-time high was like 68, 69,000, right? Here it comes. 20,000. Right there. Everybody see that? Regression to the mean. Yes, sir. Everybody see that? So you fell 20%? What did the definition just say? When you are trading 20% for a sustained period of time. 20% or more, right? So, right, here's 20%. You know what the crazy part about it is? Most people don't know they're in a bear market until they get down here. By then, the damn damage has already been done. So when you hear early whistleblowers saying, hey, might be in the bull market, we're getting it up here. 20% retracement for an elongated period of time. Fourth canary. You're not going to get this anywhere. So when y'all ask me, Glenn, how did you know the top was in last cycle and how were you able to get out in this region right here, right? When everybody else either got out down here, or rode it all the way down and round trip their bags at 15K. That's how I knew. This is called confluence. A technical analysis, right? Let's say you got something that looks like this, right? You got a trend line that looks like that. You got a trend line that looks like that. Where these two meet is confluence. Where they meet. Where they meet. When I say confluence on indicators, confluence on just information, can you get 3 to 4 independent pieces of information that are all corroborating, coming together and telling you the same story independently so that when they come together, you have a greater overall understanding of what the market is likely to do? How you think we in a bear market? I'm about to tell you. Does everybody get that bit right there? I have 4 canaries. And does anybody know why I say canaries in a coal mine? In case you don't, way back in the day when coal miners were obviously mining coal, they took canaries with them and they hung them up in the cave. A lot of times you got to go deep underground. And the reason why they took the canaries with them is when the canaries, they knew, oh, the air in the cave is going bye-bye. We need to leave. Or the environment is getting conducive to our health. We need to go. The reason why I call this my 4 canaries in a coal mine is because all these different things that I've just shown you, they're telling me when the air in the coal mine is getting ready to go, so I can start backsliding to the door, no shade, while the rest of y'all are at the party taking advice from other content creators that don't know their asshole from a brown paper bag. Birds were the first to die, 100%. Thank you, Bland. That's not a shade. That's not a knock against y'all. It's just how it is. Because I will tell people this and everybody will be like, yeah, that sounds cool, whatever. And then they'll get out down here when everybody else finally starts freaking out. But up here, like, me and wifey, we on a vacation. We're buying another house, like any number of things. So you take that. And you pair it and if anybody was screen recording Calvin's live, you saw me in the comments. You guys talking about we're in a bear market? What are you talking about? Da 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 da. You don't know what you're talking about. Everything's fine. Everything's still great. Let me again. These are not my words. I might tell you a joke, but I'm not going to tell you a lie. Investopedia. It's a website I strongly encourage people to get familiar with it if you haven't already. A bear market is a prolonged decline in stock prices where the majority or the major indices falling by 20% or more from their highs. Manta, high was in December, currently down 90%. It's been sliding for 2 months. This is Drift. This is on Solana. High was put in November. Sliding down to where it's at now, practically 70%. FET, everyone's favorite AI project. From its high in December, you're down 70%. If you were to say, Glenn, but the high was actually put in back in March of 2024, okay, cool, I'll rock with that. You're down 80%. If I look at Graph, high that was put back in March 2024, down 75. Recent high, down 64%. Somebody again, tell me what's the definition of a bear market. For 200 points, tell me what's the definition of a bear market. Investopedia.com. ICP. From its high back in December till now, down damn near 60%. Flocka, exactly. Bear market is when you're down 20% or more, at least 20% for an elongated period of time. The majority of these alts have been sliding for 2 months straight. But I thought the bull run was supposed to kick off in February. Stop playing with me. Down 20% from its all-time high. Let me... We're just gonna do it in real time. Ah, yes, I can. messed up on that. Low, high, higher high, higher low. Price starts to trade below the most recent higher low. Canary number 1. You lose your 20-day moving average consecutively. Canary number 2. If I go from the swing low to the swing high, is price continuously trading underneath that 50% fib retracement? Canary number 3. From the high to where current, oh, wait. There's 20% right there. Is price lower than that? Or is it higher than that? It's lower than that. 58%, canary number 4. Now, what do you think the probability is if I went through and I did this for the majority of alts, all 4 canaries would check out? You can lie to yourself. You cannot lie to me. I have been doing this for far too long. Shifty says, crypto is volatile. This dude is new. Shifty, I'm gonna be frank with you, bro. You are privileged to be in this live. I literally just showed you something that can make you a gang of money in this space. And you make that ignorant comment. Hey, Shift, you want to compare balance sheets? Let's compare tax returns. Shifty, do you want to compare your 8942 form? Do you want to compare portfolios? They never want to. That's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Glenn, you're new. But I told y'all a whole 24 hours before the dump started, Bitcoin on the daily chart be like Darth Vader. You think I put there because I like Star Wars? Do you not see that big ass red lightsaber? Trade setups for H-bar before the move happened. Hey, yeah, definitely going below 18. I don't have enough fingers or toes to tell you to count how many times I've told you a drop, a dip is going to happen before it happens. You think I just got here? Are you dumb? Maybe Harvey wasn't in Calvin's live when I told Calvin, and I'm still waiting on somebody to send me this video and I know it's coming because a credible source told me they had it. Pluto, are you still in here? Blend, this is a good beat. I like this one. Angel said, I don't follow Calvin. I don't got time for that bullshit. Shifty. Ask Pluto what happened in Calvin's live yesterday when he was trying to convince everybody that the dump was over and that we were going to wake up today and everything was going to be fine. Ask Pluto what happened. What's up, Granny? Ask him. Me and Pluto in the comments, right? This was the daily candle before today's candle. We on live and Calvin was like, oh yeah, everything's fine, man. Y'all gonna be good. We were still at like 92,000. We were at 92,000, 92, like 91,000. And I saw this big ass juicy vector candle right here. I'm like, dog, we're gonna wake up tomorrow and we're gonna be fucking cooked. I said this big, juicy, girthy ass vector candle. What we wake up to today? 86, 84. Was it 84? This one probably doesn't have it on 84. I think some exchanges have Bitcoin at 84. No, I didn't just get here. I know very clearly and very solidly what the hell I'm talking about. What I did say about Bitcoin, right? These motherfuckers think I just got here. That's funny. What I did say about Bitcoin is if you go from its all-time high to where it's at now, earlier it was down 20%. Right? And now you're teetering just on top of that, around 18%. 18, 19%. Not bad. Earlier today, yes, you were you checked the first box for entering into a bear market. One of the canaries in the coal mine, 20%. Now, what did I say on yesterday's live? You weren't here, so you don't know. Yesterday's live, I said if you wick down to that 20%, if you're there for a day, if you're there for like a week, not bad. But when you're hanging out below 20%, 20% plus losses, a dip of 20% or greater for 1 month, 2 months, that's not, that's no big deal. No, it's very much a big fucking deal. So I'll cut you some slack on that. You weren't here, you didn't hear me say that. But if you were coming over from Calvin's live, yes, I told him, I said altcoins are very much in bear market territory. Never once did I say Bitcoin was in bear market territory. In fact, this whole entire cycle, I've been telling people stop chasing ridiculous projects that have no use cases, especially meme coins, and stop neglecting Bitcoin. Because while everybody else is down 50, 20, 30, 65, 80%, Bitcoin is down 18%. Why don't you ask me what my stance is before you get on here and just start assuming? Silly hoes. But if you want to know where do I think Bitcoin is going, I think we have a high likelihood to come down, fill these gaps, fill in a lot of these imbalances that we have here. And yes, I do think Bitcoin has a high probability of coming down to fulfill the CME gap down at 70, what is that, 74 or so? But I absolutely think you're going to come down here and fill. You see all this green? You can't have all of this green without having any red on the other side to balance it out. Shit you says, relax on me, what you were preaching is not correct. If it's not correct, how am I literally making money on the information? You have no idea what you're talking about. Before we even started beginning this mediocre pump, I said, hey, I'm expecting a relief rally. If anyone was here on the live earlier today, put a 1 in the chat if you heard me say that. I said I'm expecting a relief rally, but I do not think the relief rally that we're going to get is going to be the relief rally that takes us up to this next leg. I think what is going to happen is price could rally, but I think eventually it's going to dump. You're going to close these fair value gaps. You're going to come down here, balance out the vast majority, if not all of this imbalance on the chart, and close the CME gap. Look at all those ones in the chat. Chat doesn't lie, Shifty. You out of your element on this one. You're punching above your weight class. Like, I don't mind people coming in here, difference of opinion, but when you say the information you're giving is wrong, I've literally, it's not important how much I've made on it this week alone, but I've made money on it. Trying to challenge my integrity as if I don't care about my community and getting people objective information. Like, how do you think we keep getting wins in this community? You're new here. You have no idea what's going on. But Shifty, since you know so much, tell me, what do you see when you look at that chart? You notice I don't have any indicators on my chart? I got like a fib. Man, don't tell me what. Shifty is so smart. Shifty is the all-seeing eye. Shifty is the crypto oracle. Tell me what you see. Don't worry, I'll wait. Glenn ignores Shifty. His name implies he is standing on shaky ground. That he's not standing on he's not standing on firm ground. 100%. Shifty can't answer the question because Shifty doesn't know what the hell he's looking at. So allow me to tell you what you're looking at. Hey, Crypto with Frank, thank you for the roses, man. I appreciate you, family. No, cool nerd. I'm going to tell you why. I like when they come in, and I like when they try to challenge, because then the things that I'm telling them are going to happen, they happen, and I never see them again. Shifty, you're so smart, you would know that this is a rounded top. See how it's got that curvature? See that curvature? Does that look like that? And it's on the daily. You about to get smacked in the mouth and you don't even know it. You keep thinking everything's just fine though. You got a rounded top. You wick down. And on this daily candle close, while you have started to make up some ground, there's not an immediate springboard back. I'm willing to bet if I drop down here to the 4 hour, there's probably gonna, let's go down to the hour. There's probably gonna be some consolidation. Look at that. Look at that. Let me go back down here to the 4 hour and let me bring my fair value gaps back into the picture. Oh, look at that. We bounced perfectly off the fair value gap. You see how price is going up and you're starting to get some doji candles? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen if price do you know the chart setup here? Much love. That's my point, because even though I'm schooling him, I'm also giving the entire chat, the entire community, things that they need to be on the lookout for, things that are going to help them. So I don't mind taking my time on Shifty. I'm just slowly picking this brother apart. You know when Scarlet Witch was dismantling Thanos' armor? Slowly picking him apart. This dude can't hold a candle to me, man. So Shifty couldn't tell me that it was a rounded top. I'll make it a little bit easy for you. What do you see just right here? What's the play right here? I'll be back. It's a TA masterclass. Shifty. 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 Caller, are you there? Oh, damn. I'm gonna tell you. Y'all that saw the Doge video from a couple weeks back, you know the play. This leg, this down leg, is responsible for creating the up leg that is supposed to take out this high. If this up leg does not take out this high, price is going to roll over and this low is going to get targeted. Where do you think you're going to go if the low gets targeted? Into these fair value gaps. What's going to happen? You're going to create a break of structure, which is a continuation candle or a continuation maneuver to the downside. You're going to fill this gap, probably going to fill this gap, might even fill this gap. Why? Because on this move, your check is going to be at the 0.50 fib retracement. See how we're on the 4 hour, it's going up and you're already starting to get doji. What you're saying isn't true. You just got here. Motherfucker, the US Treasury knows I didn't just get here. When have you ever had to write a check to the US Treasury for over $300,000? Never? Close your mouth talking to me then. Crazy part about it is I'm not even upset yet. I'm not even upset yet. MFers ain't never had to write a check for $20,000 to the US Treasury gonna come here. You don't know what you're talking about. All I do is give people a heads up as to what is likely going to happen in the market before it happens. So no, while I never said Bitcoin was in bear market territory, right? Because even though it just came down to 20, we haven't been there long enough. I did say, yeah, altcoins, yeah, they in trouble. And have been for 2 months. I've been the same person who's been saying alt season's probably not gonna show up the way people want it to show up, if it shows up even at all. Kay asked me, said, well, what do you think a catalyst could be that we could have altcoin moving off of Shifty now, back to the rest of y'all? What do I think could be a catalyst in order for the altcoin market to pick back up? Retail needs liquidity. And here's why I say that. Hold on. These are going dead. And here's why I say that. When you look at Wall Street's pathway into buying crypto. What's up, Crypto Wolf? How you feeling, family? Good, I hope. Crypto Wolf with the heart me. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. When you take a look at the pathway for Wall Street to buy crypto, the only way they can do it is through an ETF. And the only thing that they have remotely shown an appetite for in terms of the ETF is Bitcoin. Now, the biggest misnomer we have in the crypto space is just because an asset gets an ETF, it means price appreciation. Ethereum did a fantastic job of showing us that that's not the case. So when I hear people, oh, Solana's going to get an ETF, XRP is going to get an ETF, just because the ETF is listed does not actually mean positive price action. In my opinion, and it's only my opinion, the asset that gets the ETF already needs to have the market displaying a healthy appetite for it before it gets the ETF. The ETF almost acts as an ancillary product, not a catalyst, if that makes sense. For a catalyst, M2 money supply has to increase. Yes. The Fed would have to come in and cut rates. Yes. Or they'd have to do the plan that they're looking to do with all these cuts and all these slashes in governments to get the 10-year to behave a certain kind of way. So by default, the 2-year would behave a certain kind of way. And thus you could actually get rates to drop. That's probably not going to be a trick that happens in 5 minutes. That's probably going to take some time. And rightfully so. It's a big undertaking. So without retail getting some kind of like direct stimulus, without rates getting cut, without us moving back to an environment where risk on assets look appealing, retail doesn't have any money and Wall Street doesn't have a pathway to buy into a lot of these altcoins. Suffice to what most people believe. You remember the story, those of you that have heard it, of Michael Saylor giving his testimony of how difficult it was to get MicroStrategy to buy Bitcoin. It took years. They had to get everybody on board. Everyone had to be adequately educated. Then they had to get everyone to sign off on it. Everyone had to be of the same mind. It's a very, very slow process. for a publicly traded company. Now think of all the other publicly traded companies who are trying to wrap their head around Bitcoin, let alone XRP, Solana, a Doggy Moo Moo coin, Floki, Brett. You see what I'm saying? They're likely only going to come in if the market cap is above a certain amount, and that's if they can convince everyone to get on board. They probably won't be able to, because even with Bitcoin, it's been a bit of a task. So then I ask, what's the catalyst that would kick off altcoin season? Because they're not just going to turn around out of the blue on their own. What would be the catalyst? So I think Calvin's wrong. Yes. If he's of the mindset altcoin season is going to pop off, right? Because I'm taking y'all lead on this. He was saying that altcoin season was going to pop off in February, not have a chance to heat up, but he was saying as if it was a surefire thing, and here we are. It's about to be February 26th. What 2 days left? We're gonna have a surge of 100, 200%. No. And so if I show you charts of the personal savings rates of retail investors, and it's at some of the lowest points it's been, right? But if you hear another content creator, Calvin or somebody else, who will say, well, altcoins are going to take off because this is how it's performed before in the past. You're in an environment right now where we're having things happen in this cycle that have never happened before. So you got to be careful on where you pick and choose your historical cues from. Without a catalyst, without retail getting some kind of bereavement, a break, I don't see the pathway for altcoins just to blow up overnight. What was the 2017 catalyst? The whole entire market cap was $500 billion. It was $500 billion. Why does that matter? That matters because if you, and I often give this analogy, but if you look at don't laugh at me, all right? I was not an art major in college. This is my Cybertruck, y'all. I got 22s on the back. I got 20s in the front. Look at market cap as a wheel. Forget you, DJ and Cali. Look at market cap as being a wheel. The smaller the wheel, the smaller force you've got to exert on it, meaning the smaller force you've got to put on it in order to get that wheel to move. The bigger the wheel, damn, you can't even see that. The bigger the wheel, the more force you've got to exert on it to get that wheel to turn. Big wheel, big market cap, little wheel, little market cap, little wheel, little force to turn it, big wheel, big force in order to turn it. In this example, force is money. The bigger your market cap, the more money has got to go in order to get price to go up. If you're dealing with a small wheel, a small market cap, it's not going to take a whole lot of money to move that price. So in 2017, the entire market cap of the entire crypto space, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and everything else was $500 billion. Bitcoin today alone is more than the entire market cap of what crypto was in 2017. You've got over 2 million cryptos. Right now, everyone is fighting for the same liquidity. There's not enough money to go around to just have this crazy altcoin season that we've had before in years past that everyone is waiting on. Should have brought up that you call me Lambo. Ren, yeah, there were way less cryptos in 2017. So there were only so many cryptos that the money could flow into. You were going to have that boom. In 2021, there was considerably more money in the space. People had unemployment money floating around. People had stimmy checks. What else did they have? PPP money, right? There was money everywhere. We don't have that environment. And rates were low. We don't have that environment now. Rates aren't low. There's no stimmy money. There's no PPP loans. There's no unemployment money. The Chase bait glitch. If only. If only. Altcoin season is pending on Doge dividends and rate cuts. Flocka. Yes. Yes. Big Nate with the hearts. Appreciate you, Big Nate. Thank you so much. And with the golden boxing glove. Thank you, family. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all more than y'all will ever know. I really do. Arajim67. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Thank you for the heart, me, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. At the end of the year, there will be 100 million cryptos because of Pump.Fun. You know what's crazy? Pump.Fun is one, but now there's another one. Oh, what is it? The name escapes me right now. Anyway, it's another Pump.Fun like product on a different blockchain, and they're gonna have theirs built in to the ecosystem. So, you know, again, it's just more shit that's gonna get pumped out. Check weekly chart, Bitcoin RSI. I already know where you're going. Yeah. So if you're going to use a traditional RSI, this thing could easily push down farther. And the reason why is you have to be careful about which RSI you use is because if you're taking a look at the stochastic RSI, you know, RSI does really unique things. And I remember when I first came to trading, I'm like, oh, RSI, this is easy. I'll just sell when it's overbought and I'll just buy when it's oversold. You know what happened? You know what happened? They saw my black ass coming from a country mile away. And they were like, oh, okay. You think you can just buy and sell it when it's overbought and oversold? What's up, One Confident Man? How you feeling? They saw me coming from a country mile away. They said, oh, you think you can just buy and sell when it's overbought and oversold? Well, what happens if we put this bad boy in a super cruise mode? And I was like, super cruise mode? What's that? I said, come here, let me show you something. You saw you got this money in the market right now and you think it's going to go one way or the other? Well, what happens if I put the RSI in super cruise mode and it just goes sideways? And if you're short, the price keeps going up. Or if you're long, I put it in super cruise when it's down here and the price just, or RSI just keeps going sideways. I'm like, oh, damn, I ain't account for that variable. So that's why just looking at the RSI is not enough. That's why I really like looking at the naked charts, at trading. Because we still got 4 days. If this turns into a vector candle, forget about it. Forget about it. I was curious if the app was as legit as they come. Which app? Which app? And again, I know this sounds like all doom and gloom, but I got to give y'all the steak and the potatoes. I got to give y'all the good and the bad. Again, we could see a relief rally. We really could. But until we get, if I go down here to the 4 hour, until we get to 92.4, because remember the whole entire, oh, look at that. 4 hour candle just opened up, getting a little rejection on. We'll see how that one plays out. But until this leg comes out and takes out this high, this low is going to be in jeopardy of getting targeted. So I know it sounds like all doom and gloom, but I have got to give you the whole entire picture. Where do I recommend you learn TA from, Harvey? So here's what I did, right? Because unfortunately, there's not like an academy where you can learn TA. Whoever, I mean, if you do that, you're probably going to make a ridiculous amount of money. What I would do is I would go on, this was like back in 2017. I didn't really get my chops went until like 2018, 2019, started hitting my stride in like 2020, right? What I would do is I would keep tabs of all the people that I knew that were going to be doing TA. So back when I started, like, TikTok wasn't a thing. Crypto Twitter was absolute dog shit wrapped in cat shit. The only thing we had was like YouTube. And a lot of the people who were doing like TA then have like since moved on, and they've like stopped uploading to their channels. So what I would do is so if I knew they came on every day at like 6 o'clock, right? When they were doing their TA, I would do my TA. And I would wait and I would watch and I would see what is it that they're doing? What concepts are they utilizing? And then once I started to get a general understanding for what it was that they were doing, excuse me, if I knew, thank you, Big Nate with the Golden Boxing Glove, man, thank you. If I knew they were coming on at 6 and I knew that they were going to try to have, like maybe they start with their daily chart, the 4-hour chart, I would already try, if it was possible, I would already try to have my chart done. So then I could compare the two. What did I do? What did they do? What are we doing the same? What are we doing differently? And then you build that muscle up time after time. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of people who do TA. They're just not this forthcoming, right? Because again, they want to create a community where people are solely dependent upon them. My thing is, let me try to help other people understand charting, so then we can bounce ideas off of each other. There's only so many charts I can look at, but if I had a team of people who are looking at charts, we can cover more ground. We can figure more trade setups. We can attack. We can make more money, right? If that's your thing. So when people always ask me, okay, well, what's the best way to learn charting? I tell them, come into lives like this, ask questions. Hey, Glenn, how do you set your chart up? What are you looking for? When do you do this? When do you do that? What indicators are you using? It's not enough to know what indicators I'm using. Ask me, in what scenarios am I using said indicators? Right? So you can start to get an understanding of how I think. Go to my website, pick up the ebook, cryptoglenn.com. Understanding cryptocurrency and how to profit from it. People that have gotten that first one, they've either gotten the second ebook that talks about charting in detail, or maybe for whatever reason, MailChimp didn't send out their copy. And so I've got to go out and I've got to send it manually. And my deal is, if you buy anything that I have, if it requires an update, I don't charge you for the new version. If you bought it once, you have it for life, and I just continuously send you the new stuff. So come on to lives like this, right? First and foremost, start to put together a library of people. Hey, you know, I've watched this person's live. They're okay. I watched this person live. They're not so good. I watched this person's live. They've got a high track record of saying whatever's going to happen in the market, it happens. Okay, cool. I'm going to try to get in their flow. Then you go back and you visit them. You ask them questions. Some people might answer the questions. Some people might not. Me, I'm going to answer the questions because I think it's important that people actually know how to fish and not be dependent upon me. Because as you guys elevate, the questions you're going to ask me are going to change. And then we really start to grow as a community. It's not just, hey, Glenn, can you look at Cosmos? Hey, Glenn, can you look at this? Hey, Glenn, can you look at that? Then we get to talking about the macroeconomics. We get to talking about underlying variables that maybe we don't get to have in certain conversations. Does that make sense? So is the run over? Until retail gets some kind of help, you're not going to have altcoin season. I've been on record saying that for months. Everyone's like, oh yeah, altcoin season is right around the corner. No, it's not. In cycles in the past before at this point, we were already having like these crazy, put a blindfold on your eye, throw a dart in any direction to make crazy money. We're not seeing that right now. You can thank meme coins. How do you become independent of indicators like you are now? How do you become independent of indicators you are now to predict the market? So what I try to do is I try not to rely on anything. The only reason why I have this up is because I was showing y'all on the other chart, how did I know when the top was in, and the default setting is just to have this stuff on. But normally I'm just going solely off of price action. And the reason why I go solely off of price action is because every indicator that you're going to use, I don't care what anyone tells you. I don't care, oh, this indicator is AI, this is Lux Algo. Yeah, it's all lagging indicators. And so by the time, most times, it tells you what you think you need to know, the move is already happening or it's already happened, so you're late. But when you know how to actually read a chart and the candles and understand the structure that they're forming and how they're paired up with one another, and it's not something you're going to get in 5 minutes. This is something, like, I swear to God, I tell people this, and I don't mean to scare them. Like, you have got, what's up, Jonathan? Always good to see you, family. Jonathan doesn't even look at TA. Jonathan uses strictly order flow. He'll take a look at the order books, and based on the information he's extracting from the order books, he'll make his plays. How many buys or how many sales are coming at this price? When? How heavy? How frequently? What are the levels? And he'll make his play based off of that. What was I saying before that? Yeah, but when you can take a look at these candles and know how they're paired, that's what I was going to say. This is not something you're going to get in 5 minutes. You really have got to attack this every single day. You got to attack it just as bad as you want to eat, just as bad as you want to drink, because I'm telling you, when you look at that, starting to get rejection. When you get the hang of this, you don't need bull cycles. When you know how to look at charts, or if you do order flow like Jonathan, you know how to attack the order flow, the order books. Every day is a bull market, assuming you can catch a bid. Now, some days it's just going to be chopping sideways. It's not going to be a whole lot of action. Banking information or bank holidays, there's not going to be any action. Fed news, financial news, I'd probably recommend not trading on those days because it's going to be super volatile. It can be a little difficult to catch a bid. But you got to chart it every day. Just go to TradingView, open up an account, start messing around. Come in here, ask questions. Hey, Glenn, how do I start my chart, man? How do I set this up? How do I do? I'm going to explain it to you. And then your knowledge is going to grow. You're going to understand different concepts. You're going to understand different chart layouts. You may start to develop your own style. This is what I said earlier. You get 10 chartists in a room, probably going to do TA 10 different ways. The point is, are you all predominantly arriving at the same conclusion? Sometimes it's going to be yes, sometimes it's going to be no. That's okay. Your number one goal is not to be better than them. It's not to be better than anybody else. It's how do I become better than I was yesterday? It's you versus you. And once you master that skill, you can go into these markets. You can kick ass, take names, take scalps, literal scalps. It ain't gonna matter if it's in a bull run, because once you get to $100,000 and you're trading anyway, you can take a tiny little 3% banger, and that's $3 grand for the day. And sometimes you can get it like that. But what happens if you trade in 100 grand and you get a 40% banger? Well, you've just made 40 grand in a day, or 3 days, or a week, or 2 weeks, or a month. Adjust the expectations, and don't go into it saying like, I got to learn how to do this so I can get rich. No. Look at it. Yo, if I take my time with this and I learn this skill, this is something that can pay me dividends forever. This is something that allows me to be a blessing to a community forever. If I learn this skill and I have a firm command over it, this allows me to negate, and this allows me to combat a lot of maybe misinformation that I see on YouTube videos, or that I see being put out by other creators that maybe they thought that they had it right, but there might have been a variable that they were just missing out on. Or having this skill set just completely allows you to go against the grain with people who are just putting out content for the sake of putting out content, not caring about who they hurt. D-Dark says, Glenn, I'm here to check out your live. Yeah, and listen, I've said this before, like anytime y'all see me go live, like this isn't me to do like an ego play or any of that, right? Again, all the stuff I put on social media is for historical context. Now, you can learn this skill. Are you always going to get it 100% right? No. Sometimes your setup can be A1 and the market is just like Uno reversal. Skip you, reverse. You thought this was going to happen. I'm going the opposite. It happens. You're not going to get 100% right, but if you can get to like 80% of the time you're right, 75% of the time you're right, like you're going to be in good shape. You get to the point where you take 10 trades, you win 7 out of them, you're going to be in good shape. You take 10 trades, you win 8, you're in really good shape. If you play the risk to reward game right, you can lose like 60% of your trades and still be profitable, right? And I understand the responsibility that I have when I sit in this chair behind this mic and I'm telling people what I think is going to happen in the market. This is why I tell people, like, do not take what I'm saying as financial advice. Use it as a foundation to do your own research and see if you arrive at the same conclusion. Glenn is live. Super. Yeah, so we'll take a look at Super. Unfortunately, Super is just falling victim to the market, right? Like, we got a clean 10x out of Supra. I still have high hopes for it. I'm still holding a little bit of it. But when Super ran up 10x, I'm like, okay, it's time to take this ball and go home. Right? I mean, consolidating here at this range. I'm sure we'll look on this daily. You see the same patterns repeating over and over and over and over and over again. Personally, I hope we don't go back to 0.009, but if we do, I think that's probably a decent base for Supra. Do I want to see it go down there? No. And what I'm doing now is I'm trying to look to the left to find out where do we have support, right? So you can find support wherever chart runs into a pivot. You see you got a green and a red here next to each other, that's a pivot. Green and a red here, that's a pivot. Green and a red here, that's a pivot. If you're going to find support or resistance, that's normally you're going to find it at. See how you got this pivot right here? Price came through, but then we tried to come back and reclaim it. What happened? You ran up against this invisible line of resistance here. You got rejected and you pushed down. See how you're trying to find support in these ranges right here? See that? Whoops, that was a little bit too low. Came down here, we got rejection off of it. The bull stepped in, we started climbing back on it. Might be turning this little area here into support. So if price comes down, we'll have to wait and see if it drops below 0.009. Again, I definitely don't want it to. Is XRP cooked? I'll say this is, I think this is what XRP has going for it, right? Big old vector candle comes down, boom, nukes it. Not really nukes it, but it puts a little bit of a hurting on it. XRP pushes down to 207, but then the bulls step in and they buy it back. Right now, you're probably going to have a little bit of consolidation going on right here, right? What I'd be paying attention to on XRP is seeing how this gap plays out. The markets, they look to fill gaps. They look to, how do I want to word this? They seek to find imbalance. They fill wicks and gaps, and they look to find imbalances. So if in fact this price comes down and starts to push beneath this fair value gap, and it completely invalidates this fair value gap, what's likely going to happen is you're going to have negative price action that will come down here and fill in all this imbalance, what will likely take you to another fair value gap. And then from there, it's going to be there to see if you have a strong validation off the gap and push back up, or if you invalidate it and again fill this one in as well. XRP is not going to be like what I would call bullish until it gets back above like 260. Do I have anything to say about the Pi network? Not really a fan of it. Don't necessarily like the fact that it's not a legitimate blockchain. Everything is being controlled by a single entity. Not really a huge fan of that. The idea of mining things on your phone, I kind of saw through that right from the beginning. I thought it was just kind of data mining. So you hook your phone up, you're doing your thing. They got access to all your stuff. Not a real big fan of that. It's just not for me. But it's a coin. Yeah, I know they had the mainnet, but what I'm saying is, what I'm seeing is you can't actually track. Look at that. We just talked about that in real time, and it's pushing down into that fair value gap. That's wild. You can't actually, like, they don't have a legitimate block explorer. Like, you can't see the transactions. But what I understand, everything is being held by the people who run the company in a sense. It's just not for me. I'm okay missing that one. Takes on the market. Without liquidity, there is going to be no altcoin season without retail getting some help. Bitcoin, if it does not get to 92.4, close and build structure off of that, we're probably going to go down to like the low 80s, possibly even 70. There's a CME gap at like 74, 78. I'd have to go back and look, but I think we could potentially go back down there and fill that gap. So this current leg that we have on Bitcoin, again, I expect to rally, but then I expect it to kind of roll over on itself and start moving back towards the downside. Could I be wrong? Sure. Do I think it's a high probability that I'm wrong? No. No. Sweeney, appreciate the follow, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Hey, make sure to put this whole live on your YouTube channel so I can rewatch it tomorrow. I got you. I'll do that. Pluto. Shit. Yeah. It's looking like it. It's looking like it. So again, my number one goal, Venus with the Rich, and I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for those roses. The Unicorn Ride. What's up, girl? Appreciate the tiny crown. Thank you so much. So the Riz, appreciate the donut. Thank you. Thank you. Always good to see you here. Unicorn Riot, always good to see you here. Who else we got in here? Invisible 31, I appreciate. What did you say? That's what I heart me. Thank you for the heart me. I appreciate that. I wish TikTok, again, because I'm doing this on the PC, so it's not on the phone. I wish TikTok would be like, yo, somebody sent you something. I gotta always remember to go back and look. Harvey, I appreciate you for coming to hang out with us, man. Thank you. Thank you. If you had, would you pull XRP bags? This is a very difficult question for me to answer because I actually pulled all of my XRP out a number of years ago. Admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of XRP. I think the community needs to adjust its expectations of what XRP might do. But XRP is already down. How much is XRP down from December? It's down 31%, right? Earlier it was down like almost 50%. So you've kind of already taken the ride down. The question that I always put back to the community is, if you're looking at these assets, any asset, doesn't matter what it is, right? If you're looking at this asset and you wake up tomorrow, a week, 3 weeks from now, and it's down, 176, is that going to upset you? If the answer to that question is yes, I think you're gonna know what you need to do. If you look at that and you say, I really wouldn't be too mad at that. I could withstand that. Okay, cool. I think you've got your game plan. But then if you sell it and it goes up shortly thereafter, would you be upset? If the answer to that question is yes, I think you're starting to formulate your game plan. The point is, the way that I might handle something is going to be very differently from the way that you might handle something, because we may not want the same things. I may be at a different point in my investing journey where I'm like, you know what? I don't really see the need to take the unnecessary risk. I'm going to stick to a lot of the traditional blue chip stuff. It'll go up. It may not go up as high as like meme coins or some small cap coins, but I don't want to take on that risk. Or you might be like, yo, I totally want to be risk on AF. I'm young. I can take the risk. I don't really mind what it does. I didn't put in any more than I'm willing to lose. So if it goes to hell first class in a handbasket, I'm good. I'll just re-up and retool and go back in. Okay, well, we're going to operate with two different investing philosophies. So whenever you ask somebody, well, what would you do? Understand it's going to be hard for them to answer that because they don't really know your investing strategy. They don't even really know who you are as an investor. They don't know what you want to get out of the market. And so if we don't share the same goals, and I tell you what I might do, man, I did this and I didn't necessarily get the return I was looking for. I didn't get the outcome that I was looking for, and it performs the way that it performs. And I might be like, well, I got the return, the outcome I was looking for, right? So my point is, get to know who you are as an investor and get to know what boxes need to check in your mind in order for you to make a soundable investment. And then once those boxes check and everything's in a line, pull the trigger. For someone that's in the industry, take your profits when you can. So much going on right now. It's a ton going on right now. I think we've got Jerome Powell that's going to be speaking here today, right? What's up, Flux? My guy Flux just waltzed in. What's going on? And if you don't have a Roth IRA, consider a crypto Roth IRA. All sound advice, money talks. All sound advice. What am I bullish on? Long term, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. Bullish on Ethereum, even though I heard some information today. I think they had a couple of snafus take place on the testnet for the update, so it's going to postpone the update a little bit. Still bullish on Ethereum. I do like Super. I think Super could be one that if it doesn't pop this go around, if it doesn't pop again, because it definitely popped already, but if it doesn't pop again this go around, this could be like the 2028 play. I like Say. I do like Solana, although I think the developers need to be trying to do something different for the ecosystem. I like Scale. I like Quant, HBAR, but not for the ISO 20022 narrative. I like them because these are the plays that are going to be trying to take care of enterprise grade needs. Meaning I got a company, I'm not Web3 native, I'll have blockchain needs, service. I can't create my own blockchain, I don't know what I'm doing. You can go to projects like HBAR, you can go to projects like Quant, and they can spin you up a blockchain and take care of the things that you need to take care of. I think that's going to be a huge service for people in the future. Big fan of, what's the other one? Link. I like oracles. I like indexers. Anything that is aggregating real world information and bringing it to the blockchain, I'm a huge fan of. Because without an oracle, you can't get price feeds, you can't get certain features for certain projects. Like oracles are just needed. And if crypto is going to grow and it's going to expand, I think the need for oracles is only going to get bigger. I do like Aave. I like Morpho Labs, borrowing and lending. I like obviously Moonwell, borrowing and lending. Aave DeFi, right? It's been battle tested. It's been around for a number of cycles. It's starting to garner public trust. What else? I feel like I'm missing some, but you know, those are obviously the ones that stand out. I do like Sui. What I want for Sui, right, is I want Sui to come out with something brand new, refreshing to the space. I think that's probably the best way for them to differentiate themselves. Because when I take a look around, I see Solana doing the same thing that BNB did, the same thing that Tron did, which is the same thing that Ethereum did. Hey, look at us, we got meme coins. There's gonna come a point in time where the market is tired of meme coins. And if the only thing you have to offer is meme coins, like, you're gonna lose out on a lot of market participation. So developers, they need to be developing. Look at that, XRP is going down into that box in real time. How did you know that? They got to be willing to offer something different. Like, have to. Yeah, for sure, no problem, man. Especially all the rug, like, if I'm being honest, the meme coins are probably the reason we haven't got a traditional altcoin rally. And if not the sole reason, they play a pretty decent part. All these damn meme coins taking everybody's liquidity. Bloomberg's adding Sui to their index. Nice. Okay. Again, I think that's going to have a bigger impact if the market is already showing that, hey, we got a desire for Sui, like, we want Sui. Wyckoff, yes. Elliott Wave, not so much, just because I don't really use Elliott Wave. I'm familiar with it, but I don't think I'm skilled and versed enough to really offer meaningful commentary. What I can tell you about it is, so Elliott Wave is the theory that price moves, right? And each time it makes a move, the impulse is larger. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leading to the crescendo. And after the crescendo, you normally have a dump. Right? That's about the gist of it. Now again, remember, Elliott Wave theory is not my jam, so my information on it is a little limited. But that's pretty much the crux of it. Your Wyckoff distribution is essentially, once upon a time, when people first started trading, no one really knew who they were trading against. I believe the individual is the Competent Man, the Compuware Man, something man. I'll go back and we'll revisit this. But Wyckoff is simply saying that price moves through accumulation. I'm sorry. Distribution, right? Yeah, no, that's right. You gotta accumulate it. You start to go sideways. Right? This is your consolidation. And then you go through a distribution phase where you get rid of it. And this is again a pattern that plays out over and over and over and over and over again in the markets. That's called Wyckoff. I think it's like Wyckoff accumulation theory or Wyckoff theory. And when it shows up in the markets, it wreaks havoc. It wreaks havoc. Because most people don't necessarily know what's going on. There's no rhyme or reason. The Wyckoff theory is oftentimes what it is. You accumulate, you go through a consolidation period, and then you go through a distribution. And the whole time is they are accumulating the asset. This could be stock, bonds, gold, silver, bonds, whatever the case is. The person that I think is like trading against retail is like the Compuware Man or something like that. I have heard about Sony's new blockchain. Yeah, I have heard about that. I was actually reading an article about that. I want to say, maybe 3 months ago. Maybe 3 months ago. But this guy right here, this is a bad mofo. And they like to play a lot of like psychological games. Like this market can remain illogical and irrational longer than you can remain solvent. Wyckoff theory. It's nasty shit. The composite man. Thank you, Colin. Yes, the composite man. Bro, thank you. That was gonna bother me. Sonium, yep, that's what it's called. Sonium. Got a huge TVO now. Sony's blockchain? Really? Are they working with Blackwing Finance at all? I need to go back and read some of those articles I was checking out about that. Because I was reading up on it because I know the guy from Jasmy used to work at Sony. And so I thought maybe there might be a connection between the two. So when I was trying to find some information about Jasmy, that's when I found about Sony's blockchain. I wonder if they're going to do gaming on the blockchain. PlayStation. That could be kind of cool, actually. In the top 60? Oh, damn, it's already out. Yeah, I think when I was reading it wasn't even already out. Oh, Sigma, appreciate the follow, man. Thank you so much. Yes, they are. Okay, oh, boom, there you go. There you go. Jacuzzi Surfer, would I rather have ADA or XRP? Man, you just really want to bust my chops tonight, huh? Yeah, it's called Sonium. XRP or ADA? Oh, man. I would rather drag my balls 20 feet across sharded glass. That's such a hard one for me to answer, man. Hey, Flocka, we'll be here, man. Thanks for coming to hang out with us, fam. I appreciate you. For sure. I mean, even if you got to drop them in the DM, man, just drop them in the DM. And if y'all have, just let me know so I know to actually check the DM. Because if you've never sent me to it, if you've never sent me a DM, it goes to that weird place like requests, and I don't really check that a whole lot, but I'll start checking it more. Miss Evie, what's going on? He says, ha 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 ha, ouch. Yeah, that's a hard one for me to answer, man. Maybe XRP because they got the crazies behind them, and I feel like they, they try to pump stuff just because, and I might be able to make a quick bag off of it. But ADA, I feel like they just have nothing going on. And that's wild because I actually hold some ADA. Bitter beer face. What's going on, Bestie? How you feeling? Where's my In-N-Out burger? Waiting for the 10K XRP. Right. Yeah, I def sold my ADA. Yeah, I wish I would have unloaded all my bags, but I'm like, I'm just gonna scale out here. Just gonna do a little bit of scaling out. And it's like, it's cool, but I'm like, damn, bro, I could have had a little bit more cheese. In-N-Out is a bomb.com. I know. I'm waiting for Miss Evie to put some in a box and overnight it to me. No, you need Whataburger? Okay, so like, listen, let me tell you what I did. Let me tell you how fat I am, right? And after I tell you this, listen. We listen, but we don't judge. I went to go visit some people in Dallas. This was many years ago. When I say we did the Fat Man Shuffle, we did the Fat Man Shuffle. I think we got a shake from Whataburger, burger and fries from Jack in the Box. Did I already say Whataburger? The shake was from Whataburger. Burger and fries from Jack in the Box. Burger and fries from In-N-Out. It was the fattest stuff I had ever done in a little while. We listen and we don't judge. In-N-Out is way overhyped. I liked it. We listen and we def judge Big Bang. Big back, looking for a snack, and I had one, and it was good. SoCal local here, way hyped. Way. So In-N-Out is hyped? Ram, big bag. Glenn, where you at with that big bag? I was so fat, but I was in heaven. And then like 2 days later, we went to go get barbecue. I had some burnt ends. Bruh. I was wobbling back on the plane. Whataburger spicy chicken sandwich and cinnamon. What? Hold the damn phone. Fred, you holding out? Fred said Whataburger spicy chicken sandwich with a cinnamon roll is a... Give me a 20. No, give me a 30. Are you saying the bun to the spicy chicken sandwich is a cinnamon roll, or you're having a cinnamon roll with the spicy chicken sandwich? I need you to clarify this now. Miss Evie Analato, y'all know about this and y'all holding out? I got 2 people that just went #1 on my shit list. And they are in the chat. I'm having it with the chicken sandwich. It's like having a cigarette. Okay, so the cinnamon roll is not the bun to the chicken sandwich. I got you. Okay. Hey, yes, I do. I love the tornadoes. The sound that gave me the chills. It's all about tornado season. It's about to be. I should go storm JC in Dallas. Oh, I'm getting an idea. My opinion on Ego. Ooh, Bub, it's been a minute since I looked at Ego, man. I don't even think I'd be able to offer you meaningful commentary on it. It's been a long time. Wait, Ren, where are you at? Are you in Texas or are you in Oklahoma? She says I got hit with a tornado bad. No, that's not good. Fred says no, but you could definitely make that cinnamon roll the bun. Don't give me the ideas. Oklahoma. Oh, look. I need y'all to give me the dates. When does the sky start looking a little funny out in Dallas? When does that sky start looking a little funny out in Oklahoma? I'm trying to see some things. We need the crypto market to tornado upwards. Y'all got to talk to that man out in Jackson Hole. Like, look, bro, you got to cut these rates. We don't want inflation to take off. Listen, inflation is going to be a problem regardless. Inflation is the reason why a Toyota Corolla costs more today than it did in 1986. And it's the reason it's going to cost more in 2032 than it does today. So if we know we can't get a handle on inflation, pump these markets, let people make money who know what they need to do in order to make money. We're going to let the rest take care of itself. It hit your house last May. Like, did it level it? See, that's the problem. I want like anybody's house or anybody's property get leveled. I just want to see a tornado. Like, I've never seen one. I just want to see it. Yep, bought a 2025 Accord 1 year after haggling. Cars are more expensive for sure. Yeah, it's like, listen, so if we know this inflation is going to be a problem regardless, like what are we doing? Turn the money printer on, let the shit go burr, and if you know what you're doing with the dollar, you're going to be okay. I had somebody, okay, so y'all know me, like, my toxic trait is going into these lives that are put on by like older, sometimes, right? It's not all, but predominantly older black Democrats. And they be talking big shit about the right. And I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm independent. I'm voting for whoever I think has the better idea. So my toxic trait is I go into these lives and I think I can change these people's perspective. Or I'm like, you know, hey, listen, I get it. You know, a little fucked up position, right? You're not where you want to be at financially. Have you looked at this thing called crypto? We got some real high level people in here who might be able to turn you on and get you plugged up the right way. I think you should give this a shot. Oh, that's a scam. We're not buying that. I had one person came over. He was on the panel. He was like, yeah, when I checked out that crypto guy's live, man, he be talking about investing. So, you know, he be catering to them white folks. And I was just like, what? What are we doing? What? And it was at that moment I realized it doesn't matter how hard I try. You're just not going to get through to some people. Some people are just too stuck standing in their own way, and it's not a good use in terms of like net positive ROI in your time to try to convince them otherwise. Fred, I can't even remember his name, man. Whose live was he in? She's in this one lady's live. I forget. She's a light-skinned woman. She's older. She's got freckles. Most of the time, I think it's just rage bait. People are like, hey, what kind of felonious shit can I talk about on live and get people fed up just to get like my numbers, my engagement up. And so they was in there talking about something. I'm like, oh, you know, this might be a really good opportunity to jump in here and just lend perspective. Joe 2J gives me a hard time all the time. He's like, yeah, man, I be seeing you in there. You just be face bashing. I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I can't. Perhaps many just speak because they have a tongue. Javier, what do you mean? Investment people and political people are two different creatures. We don't even have to be. I just want people to not be messed up financially, man. Timepiece treasury. Ooh, timepieces. You got watches? If it's one thing I'm a sucker for, it's a nice watch. How to Trap a Glen. Put a watch under a box and watch me go walk over to it. What's that? And just pull the string when I get under there. Let me out. You got watches? What kind of watches you got? I'm serious, bro. A watch under a box? It's curtains. I'm trapped. You can be like, bro, don't go over this, a trap. Yeah, but maybe it's not. No, it is. But what if it's not? I got you. Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely take a look at it. I'm a sucker for a watch, man. I've got over 100. It's a problem. I need therapy. Send help. Everything. Casio's, Burger King collector watches, Mickey Mouse watches, G-Shocks, everything. Everything. Looking for diversification. Okay. No RMs. I just don't like the way they look. I like something a little bit more subdued. And I feel like Richard Mule is kind of like the equivalent of like Ed Hardy back in 2006. You can see that shit from all the way back there. Is that an Ed Hardy shirt? You got bedazzles on your shirt? I'm serious. I'm serious. Rashad Mille. Yeah, no RMs. No RMs. That I don't understand why they're that expensive. Like they don't have any precious metals. You know, I mean, what's the most expensive metal under? Like titanium? Titanium shouldn't cost that much. But Ed Hardy wasn't giving out watches to F1 drivers. Edward, you are absolutely correct. You know who he was giving merch out to? Jim Jones. Oh, Jim Jones was a poster child for Ed Hardy. Jim Jones was a poster child for Ed Hardy. Show us the dates you got. I don't even know where that thing is at. It might be upstairs. It might be. Where is that? I think it's either in the safe or. My desk is an absolute mess. This is a fucking travesty. Oh, there you go.
Can I? Baby? Can I? Baby? Can I? Before I turn the lights on. Can I? Baby?
I don't know if y'all can see that.
Can I? Baby? Can I?
That's my baby. That's my baby. I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you. You bought that when you crossed 1 million. Fred, you're good. You're good, Fred. Fred's good. Who you working for? Who you working for? Fuego, Glenn. Every time I hear Fuego, I think of Bad Boys. The movie. Is that the new G-Shock? No. I'm actually, look. Right? I got a G-Shock right here. I don't discriminate. If I like it, I buy it. I don't care if it's a G-Shock. I don't care if it's a Mickey Mouse watch. Like, I do not care. If I like it, if it speaks to me, I'm going to buy it. Got them big boy watches. I do, man. I like a nice watch. I like a nice watch. It's, I don't know. It's always been, something I've naturally gravitated towards, I guess. BTC to 70K before 138? C, in my opinion, yes. Hey, Glenn, good to see you. Are we cooked? Altcoins, yeah. But altcoins, we've been cooked. I think no one was just paying attention to it because we were still kind of in a reasonably, relatively high level, and now we've kind of pissed on our leg, and everyone was like, "Oh, whoa, shit! Look at these altcoins." It's like, I've been trying to tell y'all. Why is nobody listening? Why is nobody listening? Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin is going to be fine, but we're probably going to see a little bit of slide to the downside here. Now, if we go down towards 74 and we slide below 74, I saw a video today, Property Lord, she turned me on to it. I think it was by Crypto Bastard. He was saying Elliott Wave Theory could take this thing down to 40. I said, yo, that would be wild. Calvin got his community cut. The reason why I started this live tonight is because, one, I wanted to see all of your beautiful smiling faces. Kelly, thank you for the roses. I just saw that. Thank you, Venus with original. I just saw you sent some more. Thank you, sir. As I wanted to see all your beautiful faces. And as I was driving home, right, you're like, oh, let me see what's going on TikTok. Jump on TikTok, I see his live. I went to the live because, listen, Pluto and I, we were in there yesterday, and he's like, not Pluto, but Calvin, he's like, oh man, everything's gonna be fine. We were at 92,000. And there's a big juicy ass vector candle on the daily that was just red, right? Which has encouraged me to put on this picture about Darth Vader yesterday. Oh, it is a big juicy ass vector candle. I'm like, bro, how can you say we're gonna be okay and we got Darth Vader's lightsaber staring us in the face? I'm like, we're gonna slide so hard, and me and Pluto, we're just in there cracking up. Did he push it to March? Did he push it to March? That's gold. That's gold. And I'm like, no, bro, we're gonna wake up and we're gonna be cooked tomorrow morning. Like, if it even takes that long, we're gonna be sure as shit. We woke up today, Bitcoin was like, yeah, I'm at 85 chilling. What's up? Like, oh my god. Y'all had him on the ropes. Y'all were giving it to him, right? Calvin, you said February. And listen, I don't want Calvin to get beat up, right? Like, I don't not want to like him. But sometimes people just make it really, really hard. Like, I want him to do well. I want his community to do well. I want people in the crypto space to do well. And y'all had him on the ropes yesterday. Calvin, you said February. He's taking, oh shit. Oh damn, they on my neck. Oh, they come on my throat. Oh, they on my head. And then he broke out the picture of the BMW that hit a tree. And as soon as he mentioned he had his kids in the car, I'm like, oh damn, this man fucks. He fucks. He knew what buttons to push, what levers to pull in order to get the community back on his side. I'm like, y'all had him on the ropes. And he was like, death came for me and my kid. I'm like, I can't even be mad at that, bro. As a dad, right? I can't be mad at that. And I saw everybody letting up. I'm like, nah, man, hold these MFer feet to the fire. If I get this wrong, yo, please come back and flame me. Glenn, you said we're going to 74. We had 102. My bad. Players fuck up. My bad. I'm not going to run from it. I'm not going to try to spin it. Listen. The only thing people wanted to hear him say in that instance, because I would hear people say this, and I don't really attend his lives. And I would hear people say this, the bravado, the cockiness, this, that, the air of, arrogance or whatever. And yesterday and today I kind of saw it. Cause y'all would take stuff from other content creators and y'all use me as a sounding board. Glenn, what do you think it is? What do you think of that? Do you think this has legs? Do you think this tracks? So I get a lot of stuff from other content creators, right? Sent in by y'all. And what I would see is like, this dude really, he can't be wrong. Never mind the little spat that I had with him a while back. Once this ribbon crosses this ribbon, it's gonna be up. And I'm like, no, Kyle. Once we actually start getting closures on the daily above 100,000, that's when we'll be in good shape. Man, you don't know what you're talking about. Blah blah blah. Real quick, where's the price of Bitcoin at? I guess I do know what the fuck I was talking about, because Bitcoin is $88,000. The bespoke. So once I'm like, all right, cool. And then like I'm looking at it and everyone's like, yeah, Calvin said that, for February, that, we're gonna be an altcoin in February, altcoin season February. And then yesterday when live, the way he's trying to spin it, well, it's not wrong, because when you take a look at the previous data, and I said it could heat up, I never said it was going to be the daily. And I'm like, nah, I think I saw a clip where you distinctively said it was going to happen in February. But instead of saying like, look, y'all, you know what? I got it wrong. I got it wrong. Why is it so difficult for us to admit when we get things wrong in this space? You defeated Calvin Hill. Now you got to defeat Rico. What's Rico talking about now? Is it ego? Bro, like, listen, it should be no ego. It should be no ego, especially if you are already well-to-do, or even if you're like, do okay for myself. It should be, how do I get my people wins? How do I get my people wins? Glenn and Calvin encourage people to do perpetual. Woke, in my defense, I tell people, do not step foot into perpetuals until you know how to read charts. Does he really have all that crypto he reckons? Listen, don't get me to line, but I happen to know some people who are very good with studying the blockchain. I'll leave it at that. Well-to-do does give some of the ego. I get that. Yo, Ren, appreciate you for being here tonight. I'll see you probably back on this thing tomorrow around lunchtime. And I get that. You start getting wins, you start making money, your ego sets in. I get that. But I think if you're going to have ego for your community. And once you start to amass the money, it's like, whatever. It don't matter. People can come into your lives, they can disagree with you, whatever. It's like, I don't mind people having disagreements, but it's like when you don't know what you're talking about, this information is wrong, da 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 da. Well, now you're creating confusion amongst the community. And I think people try to find people who are genuine in the space. Like, you could tell me I'm wrong, and if you think I'm wrong, that's fine, but tell me why you think I'm wrong. Don't you be like, oh, you're wrong, look at the... Why? And then when I ask you, hey, what setup do you see happening here? Or hey, what overall macro situation do you see? And you go silent? Nah, no, 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 no. You came in here. You wanted to talk that talk. Let's have the conversation. Don't go mute. No, don't go mute. Talk that talk. Let me hear you now. So I think if you're gonna have ego for your community. Yeah, I'm this way because I help people get in really unique situations. I help people figure things out. You got under his skin. He's been in this feelings room. And Nate, you are probably right about that. But like all like the sub jabs, call me out by name. Call me out by name. Again, I don't want to be adversarial towards him. I don't want to be adversarial to anybody in this space. The only thing I ask is that we be objective, we take accountability when we're wrong, and we try to get people the best objective information available. I don't think I'm asking for too much. I swear every time he shows his perpetual, the market takes a major dive. Probably not wrong about that. I'm still tripping off the bespoke ribbons, and I'm like, bro, those are basic joints. What are we them the joints that come out of the box. I'm not upset that he's got a product to push. You got something you think legitimately is going to help people, put it in front of them. I'm not even upset about that. What I'm upset with is that there is ego, the bravado. Oh, people taking shots at me because, you know, it's envious. It's no jealousy. It's no jealousy. You gonna scroll down and look at all these fake accounts. Like, anybody on this app is putting out content is going to have fake accounts of them. I have a lot. I have some on Twitter. It's gonna happen. My thing is, when you're wrong, can you own up to it? Can you get in front of it? Can you, yo, listen, I goofed. I got it wrong. I thought I was seeing this. For whatever reason, it just didn't pan out that way. I would think most people will respect you for that. But when you can't take onus, you give people fuel that they need to keep coming at your noodle. Just own up to it. We all make mistakes. We all know technical analysis is not 100%. He feels good to talk poo. Nah, you know what? Listen, I'd rather talk that talk. Which hey y'all, hey boom, hey yeah man, we got on Moonwood. That thing did a 10x. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got on Super. We were hanging out at 0.007 and ran to 0.08 cents. We did that. Hey man, take a look at this trade setup. Oh my god, it's going to slide. Please get in position. Oh, we did that. Cool. Right? It doesn't feel good to do the whole, I don't know, man. It doesn't. If I just wanted to have wins, I would not have to jump on TikTok or Twitter. I could literally trade with the 3-4 screens that I have up in front of me. I can make my money and like nobody would know who the hell I am. I think when you legitimately help people though, then you help put them in a position where, I don't know what the money does for you all, right? We really haven't had that conversation yet. We will soon. But I know financially the world, not just you, not just, you know, me, but country, the world is not in a great spot financially. We have more people who are part of the have-nots than people who are part of the haves. You help somebody change that around, like, man, the air smells a little different. The water tastes a little sweeter. The sun shines a little brighter. Excuse me. I know he's convinced. Listen, man, most people, when they talk with passion and, you know, that it comes across. Yeah. But I think you got to have a whole entire thing. Just my belief. And I may see it differently than, you know, somebody else. Gotta have a whole entire piece, man. Uncle Jay, stop the violence. Maybe that's purposely done to fuel. I mean, Nizzle, let me ask you this. At that point, what would the end game be? Just to keep people talking about it? Like people, if someone were to say something negative about me, if it's not true, it really wouldn't bother me, right? I would much rather people be talking about, hey man, Glenn, he helped me. Glenn, he showed me this, he showed me that, right? Because I got kids, and if it didn't help me, be like, oh man, aren't you Glenn's kid? Oh man, dude, your old man helped me with something, you know, way back when. I want them to be able to have friends, right? Just the same as I would for somebody that helped me. Oh man, you. Cause I knew your old man. Dude helped me figure something out a long time ago. What do you need help with? That like that real sense of community. You know what I mean? Everybody not gonna see it the way I see it though. Calvin had people do a long on Trump coin at 30. Okay, woke. I heard about that. At 34, it's now 13. I had the exact opposite. We're hanging out. I do a live. I do a video on Trump because people are talking about it. Jers commented on the video that I did, and she was like, "What about Trump coin?" I was like, "Eh." So I did a video on Trump coin. Just in my profile. It's not really too far back. If you search for it, you might be able to find it. I said I'm probably going to hold off on this. I think this is buy the rumor, sell the news. His inauguration is coming up here pretty soon. I think it's going to dump after the inauguration, and it did. Definitely a Calvin Hill rant tonight. Told him not really. I mean, we just went through a litany of stuff, right? This the live kind of winding down. I'm like, I'm letting y'all direct it. Statewide crypto. We were talking about crypto. How long I've been on? We've been talking about crypto for 2 hours and 27 minutes. Bro, we talking about Cal for like the last 2-3 minutes. So like 2,000. 2 hours and like 23 minutes. But you talked about Trump coin. You were wrong too. Is this thing on? Can y'all hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Here's what I said about Trump coin. I'm about to show you. Here's exactly what I said about Trump coin. Real fast. Did you know that a bear market is categorized by a prolonged decline in stock prices or asset prices, with the major indices falling by 20% or more from their highs? Hey, did you know when you take a look at a lot of these altcoins from their highs in December, they're down like plus 20%. They've been sliding for 2 months. So when I said altcoins were in a bear market, that's what I meant. Now that we've taken care of that. Oh, look, there's Darth Vader again. God, I wonder what that means for Bitcoin. I don't hate Calvin. I really don't. I don't hate anybody in this space. What the French toast? There are people that make my taint cringe, but I don't like it.
You beat the richest guy, the most expensive guy. What do you want to
Oh, what is this? Tulip. Here's what I had to say about Trump coin. Where that though? Where that though?
Jersey wants to know about the Trump coin, so let's get into it. Admittedly, this is not one that I caught early. I'm actually still not even in the coin, granted, because I don't really peruse the degen side of crypto Twitter, so I had no idea to know about this one until it was probably around 30 bucks or so. And I think that was earlier this morning. Taking a look at a few variables about the coin. The number one thing that I do like about it is the amount of liquidity that is locked up in this coin. Because currently there is $816 million of liquidity in this project.
Wait for it.
So many of you, I'm just now getting a good look at this coin. I can really only go off of what I see on the charts and just some of the other details like the liquidity. I will say this, it's respecting a couple fair value gaps that have been printed on this chart on the 4 hour, which is good. However, with it being a meme coin, I would very much pay attention to events of tomorrow and potentially having a sell the rumor, buy the news kind of deal. Tomorrow's inauguration coming, I wouldn't be surprised if this one started to dip a little bit.
But if I talked about Trump coin, I was wrong. No. You heard the heads up? Yo, tomorrow's the inauguration. Don't be surprised if it dumps. That's what it did. Gave people the heads up. Jack Wilson 2, you hate him because he's doing better than everyone. No offense, I don't hate him because he's doing better than everyone. No. I want people to be successful in the space. I don't mind how he's doing what he's doing. When you get something wrong in the space, you got to be able to stand on that shit. When I get things wrong in this space, it doesn't happen a whole lot, but it happens. And when it does, I get in front of it. Hey, y'all, listen, we were talking about this actually happening. It went the opposite way. This is my bad. Y'all deserve better. I need to be better. I need to make sure whatever how can I make sure that this does not happen again? Why? Because my North Star is making sure y'all have what you need to be successful. Ian Brooke, damn, brought the receipt. Hey, that's what we do. They're not gonna besmirch my name. This is BTC. Mr. H says, be better, bro. I think I'm pretty good. My balance sheet says I'm pretty good. The U.S. Treasury says I'm pretty good. When you got to write a check to the U.S. Treasury, you're pretty good. Glenn, will a gap get filled at 77? That is my aim. That's my aim. Yeah. I had checks on hand. I wrote a check to the U.S. Treasury. Yeah. Jack Wilson says, but I follow his live. I bought the ebook. I'm actually doing pretty well in crypto. That's good. Again, I'm not saying the stuff that he is selling doesn't work. What I'm saying is, personally, when you get things wrong in crypto, you got to be able to stand up in front of people and be like, listen, I got this one wrong. He was saying that alt season was going to start in February. It's February 26th. We got 2 days left in February. It's not going to happen. When he says that altcoins are not in a bear market, when I'm telling in this live, and I'm not even saying it to be combative, I'm saying it to be like, okay, if this is a conversation that we're having, let's push the conversation forward. Altcoins are not doing so good. They're in a bear market. What are y'all talking about? Da, 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 da. It's like, nah, bro, they're actually, yes, very much in a bear market. And either people are able to be objective and they can see that, or they're just going to be, in their feelings, they're going to be emotional and they can't. One thing's for sure, objectivity when you're talking about money and investing, that plays. Being emotional, and that's a dog that doesn't hunt. What percentage do you stay in cash for dips like this? So Surf is going to be a little difficult because you guys know me, I trade this kind of stuff, right? If I wasn't a trader and say my purse was like 10,000 or maybe 4,500 in cash, just in case. Just in case. But that's just me though. Some people, they want all the money and they want all the money working for them. Me personally, I want to have a little bit of cash on hand in case something like this happens. Show us your trading portfolio just for a sec. For sure. I'm going to send you my USDT address. It's going to cost you 10,000. You send the 10,000 over, I'll gladly show you everything you want to see. I've showed it before. He's only got 88. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
That's a nasty one. That's nasty.
That's nasty. That man literally fixed his face and said, he's only got 88. That actually kind of hurts. Damn. 88 Cardano. You couldn't even be like Link. You just gonna hit me with? Yeah, he's only got Cardano. That guy, he's only holding Cardano. Fuck me. What's up, Frederick? Frederick just walking in the chat. What's going on, man? Happy to see you here. Big H. What's up, Big H? Yeah, this is Bitcoin USDT. This is a perpetual chart. This is not spot. This is a perpetual chart. Roger just walks in the chat. What's up, Raj? Excuse me. Yeah, I don't have any ill-advised feelings towards anybody. Don't hate anybody in this space. I just want people to do better for the community. For the community. Because let's be clear, if the community becomes better, if content creators become better, at the end of the day, that's a better product that y'all get to consume. Am I shorting right now? I was actually shorting this slide until we got to the 382. And only because I decided to go live. I have like I've got like rules. I don't trade when I'm hungry. I don't trade when I'm tired. I don't trade when I'm irritable. And I'm waiting to see how this level reacts off the 4 hour. What did we talk about earlier? This leg comes down. It's responsible for producing a leg that's going to run up. If the leg that runs up doesn't take out this high, this low gets targeted. So I might open up a small little short before I go to sleep, but I don't know. Just because I'm feeling a little tired right now. Again, it's all about being disciplined. I could wake up tomorrow. This could, very well have taken out this low. Am I going to be upset about it? Sure, because again, I'm a trader. I like taking trades, but it's not going to beat me up too bad. Can I see your chats? Yeah, I can see them. %, Bitcoin, 20% your choice of other coins. Y'all gonna hate me. I'm like 98% Bitcoin, 2%, right? You already know how I feel about diversification. Diversification is selling a winner for losers. We're being rejected at the moment. Yeah, we're being rejected. Yep. Yep. You win. I'm like Nate. I'm super biased though. I'm super biased. Glenn, get the video of T. Howard and Get Rich or Die Trying saying, "I'm right. I'm right even when I'm wrong, man." I'm right. I'm right even when I'm wrong, man. I'm like super biased. Y'all know me. Like I get on here and I talk about that. Like I think a lot of cryptos that you look at, you realize like, man, a lot of this stuff doesn't even need crypto. Or you could look at it and be like, I'm just not seeing it. That's why I just watch BBC News. The BTC News. There's like alts that I like, but I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. Never really got into meme coins too heavily. I kind of saw that like, oh, okay, this is gambling. I might hit one, but if I hit one, I might lose 100, right? I'll just take that money and buy the underlying asset. Thoughts on Q&T not really needing a crypto? Yeah, so I mean, I guess that would depend on how they decide to facilitate the services, right? If you want to be on the Overledger, if you need Quant to get onto the Overledger, that would be like a use case for it. But if you're like, nah, man, we'll spin you up a blockchain, you don't even need it. It's kind of like, all right, well, then what is Quant really used for? And I think that could be the kind of question that gets centered around, if that doesn't go from a doji back down to a strong sell candle, I don't like that doji. That would be the conversation I think a lot of cryptos would need to have. Yeah, Brooke, I'll explain here. Give me a second. Do I believe the market's going down? Yeah, I think we're going to have somewhat of a relief rally. But I think ultimately we could come down to zones where a lot of these gaps get filled here that I have on my chart. 4 hour has no more room for BTC, so count, what do you mean? 4 hour has no more room for BTC. You talking about the RSI in the 4 hour? Rut row. Y'all see that? Price is going up. RSI starting to curl over though. How's that volume? Oh no, hidden bearish divergence. Oh no. Yeah, we're going down. We're going down. Oh no. I love hidden bearish divergences, especially when they pop up on the higher time frames. Oh no, hidden bearish divergence. Price is going up, volume's tapering off. I want to see it again, I'll show it to you again. As price was going up, volume was going down. That's hidden bearish divergence. Don't ever say you ain't learned nothing kicking it with me. So if you wake up tomorrow and this little bugger is down here, that's why. This candle's got 1 hour and 52 minutes left. We'll see how it plays out. Hidden bearish divergence. Hidden bearish divergence. Hidden bearish divergence. Ah, yes, to answer whose question? Brooke, can you explain what you're doing there with the chart? What you're wanting on, what am I waiting on and so forth? Yeah, so let me close this. This better plays on the daily. So if you're looking at this chart here, each one of these represents a fair value gap. Now the thing you got to keep in mind about a fair value gap is when you're looking at this fib going from like the swing low to the swing high, anything above your 50% retracement zone is in the premium value. Anything underneath the 50% fib retracement is your discount. I'm sorry, is your premium, right? So you want to sell in the premium, not the discount. And so when you're going from swing high to swing low, or swing low to swing high rather, the market is going to look to take out the early buyers first, right? So people will come down here, oh look, you know, price is probably going to reverse, let's buy in. And normally what happens, not every time, right? Because TA is never 100%, nothing is ever 100%. What normally happens is price will come down here into the premium zone. And if you're going to get a reversal, it probably comes in here. Okay, what I suspect is going to happen is if these fair value gaps are in fact targeted and validated, so it's validated if price comes down and it bounces off, it's invalidated if price just crashes through it. What I suspect is going to happen is with this having a tremendous amount of imbalance, you see all that green there on the right, that's not supposed to be like that. Markets seek to fill imbalances, wicks and gaps get filled, and they want to try to hunt liquidity. All of this down here is liquidity, right? So this line right here, there's liquidity. This line here, there's liquidity. These lines down here, there's liquidity. This line down here, there's liquidity. Right? So the market is going to move away from the zones that it just took liquidity from, right? So as price went up, okay, it created all this liquidity to the downside, right? So there's liquidity here, there's liquidity here, there's liquidity here. Now you see what happened as price came down, boom, 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 boom. It took out all those former zones of liquidity. So it moves away from area where liquidity has been created, and now it's going to chase the other areas where liquidity is present. That's all these areas down here. Markets seek to fill imbalances. Wherever there's a tremendous amount of green, you got to have red come in to fill in that imbalance. Wherever there's an imbalance of red, you got to have green come back to fill in the imbalance. This is like buy sell liquidity, bussy, and sell side liquidity. When did you just say Badussy? So that's what I think is going to happen. Right now, if in fact that happens, we also have the CME gap that's down here. You would already be in the neck of the woods for price just continuously come down and take out these areas of liquidity. Now, Jerome Powell is supposed to speak tomorrow. What is on his docket, I don't know. I need to look that up. But if it is something that the markets don't like, Whee! You're gonna come down here and start finding yourself closing a lot of these fair value gaps, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my God, maybe shit really is in a bear market." But by then, we have already been out or making money on short, so it's not gonna matter. My thing is, just don't get caught with your pants down, because right now there's a lot of people out there that want you to think shit is still good, everything's just fine. I think whenever the rest of the market deems it one way, the other way is likely going to play out. But I'm just a contrarian. Yeah, there are gaps that need to be filled, yup. He said it's a character flaw that turns me off. It's going to. Absolutely. When I've known people like that, and this is gonna sound crazy because again, you look at a guy like Calvin, you're like, man, what could this guy have anything to prove? He's got the house, he's got the cars, he's got the family. For some people, it's not enough. Some people just want to feel loved. Some people want to be liked. So that that could be a little bit of that. And so maybe, and I'm totally projecting here. I don't know. Calvin from a ham sandwich, right? A lot of the putting on could be the vying for acceptance or whatever the case is. I don't know. Don't know. But again, the main thing that I have is just like not being able to stand on it when you get stuff wrong. And like, listen, we're all going to get shit wrong. Every single one of us. You're starting out your TA journey. You're going to get to a point where you hit your stride. You're going to get to a point where you can, help people understand what's going on in the market. And you're going to make some bad calls. It's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. I'd rather you make bad calls and be able to stand on it than just come from a place of grandstanding where it's like, I never take a position. I just, I give my thoughts and opinions, but I never put any money behind any of my positions. It's like, we're not going to grandstand. But at the same time, when we get it wrong, we're going to be men, we're going to understand it, and we're going to do the right thing. So your fib is set to 71 and 88. That's the value gaps. So there's a few, right? You got this one here. This is on the daily. If I jump down here to the 4 hour, this is probably a 4 hour fair value gap. If I go back, yeah, these are 4 hours. Boop, 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 boop. So these are two different gaps. Ideally, let me go back to the daily here. What would give me greater confluence is, so right now we're on the daily, because you've got fair value gaps popping up on the daily. The likelihood that these are going to fill, it's a stronger likelihood than they're not going to fill. If I jump down here to the 4 hour and say I was just looking and I found like a fair value gap on a lower time frame that was nested inside of a fair value gap from a higher time frame, like I'd be like, yo, what else do you need to see? All right, so if I go back here, son of a bitch. Hold up. This is a daily, yes? Boom, boom. Yes, this is a daily. Go dark. Yup, it's a daily. I think I just found one inside the daily that's showing up on the 4. Yep, I sure did. Yep. Has this been tapped already? This has not been tapped. Oh, okay. This is a 4 hour. Back it up. Pack it up. Four hour, yeah. How far are you? 10, that's doable. That is fucking doable. Let Jerome Powell get his old ass on that stage and say something the markets don't like tomorrow. We're coming down to that zone. We're coming down. Ugh. Oh, that would be like 80 to 76. I think that's a CME gap though, right? I think that's a CME gap. But not to freak out, y'all. Look, we got gaps to the upside. We're gonna go back up. We're gonna be okay. It's not the end of the world. See that gap there? See that sucker had to fill. We gap down. We gap. You know what's gonna suck? If we're like, hey, say Jerome Powell says something really positive tomorrow, the market's like, whoop, we're going upside, and we just filled this gap here at 92. That could happen. That's what I'm saying. You got to have all of the different scenarios. I can't just give you one side without giving the other. There's definitely a gap there. Hold up. Here's a gap right here. Yeah, 80 to 78. Yep, there's a gap right there. There it is right there. So that's the one I'm looking for us to fill. And what would be crazy is if this came down, this would create a new break of structure, continuation pattern, boop, 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 and we could go down and fill it. Right now, there's a pathway for both of those to take place. I'm going to save that. I hate that I have it on my clean chart, but that's why I have the clean chart. So when I come live here on TikTok and we're talking about charts, I can just mark it up for you guys. There's have a whole lot of crazy doodles and all that jazz going on. Show what gap? The gap on the CME chart? Yeah. John Smith not even following the brother. He's like, hey bro, let me borrow your TA. I'm not gonna follow. I'm not gonna do anything. Just let me use your TA. There you go. Right there. That's a gap. What the bleep just happened? Here you go. That's a gap right there. You got it? Count, why would you say something like that? You hurt my feelings, bro. Count says gaps work for stocks, not for crypto. Show the history when the gap was filled. Explanation point. Glenn, you're a liar. Okay. Johnny boy, not John. Who said that? Count. Famo, your wish is my command. Gap. Filled. Right? Now in that gap you had a double gap. See this gap right here? Can y'all see that? You can see that. Gap. Filled. This is the current gap. Wait for it. Glenn, you're a liar. I might get on here and tell y'all a joke. I'm not going to tell you a lie. Gap. If I drag this over, I should run into a candle, right? Filled. You want me to keep going? I'm going to keep going. Because I'm a liar. Gap. If I drag this over, I'm going to run into a candle. Filled. I got you. Say less, fam. gap filled. I might get on here and tell you a joke. I'm not going to tell you a lie. So what causes a gap? So crypto is 24/7. There's a couple different gaps. First of all, you got to know. You can have a gap, like a legitimate gap where price, right? There's no candle that closes in between an actual gap. That kind of gap is created when the CME market closes on Friday, but there's price action, extreme price action that happens after hours when the market opens on Monday. So what happened here is by the time the market closed, right? Because green candles open from the bottom, they close here. This is where the candle was when it closed on Friday. Or if there was a banking holiday or whatever. Whenever the market reopens, price is significantly higher or lower than it was. And because price was higher when the market opened the following day, it left a gap. Same here. Right? Market closes. Price was down here. When market opened, the price was down here. It created a gap. We running Glenn now. Y'all ain't even, hey bro, are you hungry? You want a sandwich? Because no. Hit the chart, slave. God damn. God damn. This kind of gap, when you have a candle closes inside of price, but it's like it's extreme, right? This is aggressive price action. This happens again when you have aggressive price action. These things can happen from order blocks, demand zones, supply zones, any number of things. So when price moves too aggressively, it can leave a gap, and price normally has got to come back to fill that gap. Excuse me. Major wicks are also an extreme clue, right? Think of it as like it being a map. It's a clue as to where price could potentially return back to, right? We had this mean wick right here. I just chose this one at random. That's how much this stuff plays out. You had this mean wick right here. Price comes down. The bears, they take over. They're kicking the bulls' asses. And the bulls, they decide to step in at the last minute. Actually, no, we're going to buy that back up. And it leaves a giant wick right here. Now, if I just draw this to the left, boom, you're going to run into a candle. It's got to fill. Little small gaps, and not really so much. The long FU gaps or wicks, for sure. For sure. Glenn, why are you telling us this, bro? Aren't you afraid if you teach us everything you know, we won't need you anymore? That's kind of the point. It's kind of the point. Damn, so this left a gap right here. Shit. Actually, I think I already got that one marked out. I do have this one marked out. Why is this not on my chart? Let me go back to my original chart. Hope I can go back to it because I don't feel like trying to find the one I was just on. Back. Come on. Futures. Back. Wait, what? There we go. I was about to say, sweet Jesus. No one is perfect, but stand on business, as Glenn's explained. 100%. Listen, I get it. TA, you're never going to get this shit 100% right. But if I'm on here like, yo, I'm telling you, this shit's going to 74. And we wake up tomorrow and it's at 110. It's going to be super awkward. Glenn, you said we were going to 74. And here we are at 110. Explain. I'm gonna have to check my ego. Hey guys, you know I was hyped. I was screaming at you. I was making it sound like if you didn't want to rock with me, you were a dummy. Now I gotta come back with my tail between my legs, eat this crow, and be like, hey, look, we at 102. That would be embarrassing. Yes. So I'm not saying like, yo, don't talk your mess, but it's like, be mindful of how the message is getting delivered. Because one, you don't want to alienate anybody, but two, this is crypto. You never gonna get it 100% right. And if you all huff and puff and swollen the chest and you get that shit wrong, you're gonna dread going live. You're gonna dread it. Damn, I gotta get in front of these people. Ugh. Maybe they'll just give me a pass. I get it. This TA deal, you gotta feel like you a receiver in the NFL. You gotta feel like you are the best. I feel like I'm the best. I put my TA up against anybody's TA. Kelly with the roses in the heartbeat. Thank you so much, Kelly. But at the same time, like, I know what this is. Trading has a very interesting way of humbling people. You not roll on me, you stupid. Up 46% today. Oh dear. Just be cool. Just be cool. Pi Network, not a fan. I'm okay missing that one. Great alpha. So wait, how do gaps happen if crypto is 24/7, no Friday closing like the stock market? Yeah. So gaps happen when the markets close. If there is significant price action while the CME market is closed. When it opens, then price is in a different spot than what it was when it left, so it leaves a gap. Like significant, like high volume, catches a bid at the right time or catches a sell at the right time, moves the market, significant market moves. So then when the market opens, it's got to catch up. And it doesn't happen right away. It doesn't happen like the next day, right? But normally if it's moving, say you gap up and you leave a gap to the bottom, well, when you start trending down, if the circumstances are right, it can provide an environment where that gap acts as a magnet. It's like, shit, you coming on down anyway, you might as well come on down and fill this gap. Beside the futures trading, do you hold any long-term positions besides Bitcoin? A handful, but not a whole lot. Like some people are rocking with like 20, 30, 40, 50 coins. Nah. So you'd be looking at like Suisei, Supra, ETH, Solana, Link. There's a few Oracle plays in there. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. It's a little difficult. Those are pretty much the main ones. I got like other stuff here and there, but it's like I said, it's just I got stuff packed away in the Legend. It's just like, yep, long term in it. User 997702 says, Glenn, our boy claims he can make money from trades, but he keeps promoting the ebook. I don't get it. In the name of transparency, like I too have an ebook. Do I promote it as much as I should? Probably not. I won't say that the two are mutually exclusive. I'll say this. I think as any good entrepreneur, I like Say real fast. I like Say. I think you need to have multiple streams of income. Like it almost just makes sense, right? Like if I can teach you the ins and outs of trading, yeah, I should do it. But if there's also a pathway for me to earn additional revenue that maybe fund more of my trades, it's probably not a bad idea to do it. And again, I'm of the mindset, like, in case this is your first time coming across my live, Crypto Glenn, welcome. Like, I have a business in real life. And so I'm a firm believer that if you have a product or a service that you know is going to help people, you have an obligation to put it in front of people. I make no apologies about that. Yeah, but that's all he talks about is ebook. Well, okay, in that regard, like I can understand that, right? Like you come in because you're trying to get like some alpha, or you're trying to learn something, and like the ebook is constantly being berated upon you. Like I get that. If you feel like you've got a product that can help someone, I think you got to put it out there. But if it's constantly just being marketed towards you, or maybe people are feeling like you haven't given them enough to ask for the business, like Gary Vaynerchuk a few years ago, he did left, or jab, hook, where it was saying like give your best stuff out for free, give people value. So then when it comes time for you to ask them to do business with you, they're not as reluctant to do so. And I'm like, actually, yeah, that kind of makes sense. And I think a lot of good business owners, they do that subconsciously without even knowing the principle behind it, because most good business owners, most great business owners, they operate from a standpoint of service. So think about the time where like everyone can relate to this. Your car's got to go into the shop. You're like, oh, fuck, man, my car's got to go to the shop. This is going to cost me an arm and a leg, and I know it's going to cost me an arm and a leg. Wanting to do repeat business with a mechanic can be all the difference of your mechanic explaining to you what happened with your car, why it happened, maybe let's do this, that, and the third to prevent it from happening, or what are common failure points on your vehicle so that you know what to be on the lookout for. And they kind of get you in that groove where it's like, man, it's made me feel comfortable. Someone took their time with me. They explained to me thoroughly what was going on. They told me how to prevent certain, issues in the future from happening. It wasn't just a transaction. Where a bad mechanic would just come in, maybe they don't greet you, right? Yeah, just leave your car, we'll figure it out. Or if you've ever had to do, business with a doctor, the bedside manner is what they call it. A good doctor, yeah, your symptoms are this, that, and the third. We think this is what's going on. They kind of put you at ease and help you figure out what's going on. But a bad doctor doesn't really ask you what's going on. They don't care. The bedside manner sucks. You're like, man, I never want to do business with this person again. Jab, hook. Operate from a standpoint of service. Help your people. And then if you ever get to a point where it's like, all right, I need to ask, or I want to ask for their business, they're gonna be like, oh man, this person, man, they done helped me a ton. Like, of course, yeah, we'll do business together. That's even the route you want to go. Some people, they just operate from a standpoint of service because they're like, this is what's going to help. We call those social entrepreneurs. They're doing it simply for the betterment of the cause that they serve. Parson, I think Calvin is amazed at himself that he just forgets about his audience. God. Can I get that in a Google review? Holy shit, that was funny. That's funny. I have been online with you and I have not heard you talk about your ebook. Like, yeah, I don't really promote it. It's like, it's there if you want it. It's really geared toward people who really want to know how to do like the trading bit, right? And I think it's got a really unique thing. It's like, if you buy it once, every time I update it, you're gonna get a copy of the new version. I'm not gonna make you pay for it again. Like, that's not really what it's about. Man, I like it here. Great knowledge. Thank you, Marcelo. I appreciate that. I really do. I really appreciate that. Parse of that comment, man. That is hilarious. I think Calvin just is so amazing himself. He forgets about his audience. I have to be wary of the market to protect my money. Calvin doesn't offer that. Yeah, you got to get the steak and potatoes. Could you imagine what it'd be like if every time y'all come in, y'all saw me, I'm like, yo, it's going to be all right. Don't worry about it. I know them altcoins are down 60, 80%. Just buy more. They could slide another 30. Who cares? Or even if they were on the way down, right? Say it's 20. And I'm just like, yo, just continuously buy more. It's going to be fine. And they kept sliding. I like buying the dip. I think it's a very plausible strategy. There have been many occasions where it has made my portfolio do jumping jacks. But you got to make sure you're not catching a falling knife. There's a difference. Venus woke. That's what happens when you're rich sometimes. No excuses, though, for sure. Glenn, can you explain M2 money supply and how it affects this market? Yeah, so M2 money supply is like all the cash, coins, dollar bills, all that jazz that's currently in circulation. When there's more of that in circulation, the thought process is more people have money. When that money gets taken out of circulation, the thought process is it's kind of scarce. So obviously when more people have more money, they're going to spend it. This is kind of what got us into the position of the Fed deciding to be like, hey, we got to raise rate on y'all fools. Like, y'all, every time we raise rates, y'all still going out here spending. Y'all still going out to the restaurants, the shops, entertainment. We're not hurting y'all enough. Let's raise the interest rate. So they raise the interest rates to try to curtail a lot of that spending. And one way they're able to do that is by pulling dollars out of circulation. I hope that made sense. I know that's kind of like an abridged version. I'm lagging? Say word. Javier says, I was on this morning. Is BTC recover? We're kind of in a holding pattern. Obviously, we're higher than we were this morning. Yes, for sure. But not by a whole lot. We're not necessarily out of the woods yet. Good over here? Okay, cool. How about to say, I thought my signal was pretty strong. Woke says, I'm trying to get rich so I have to protect myself from Calvin's glass half full approach. Yeah. Again, I think you gotta get Flux says a signal's okay. All right, cool. Thank you, sir. No lag. Thank you, Angel. Yeah, you gotta protect yourself. Like, listen, as you're trying to get to the money, you gotta be very methodical about where you place your dollars, because you only have so many dollars. Some people are working 40, 50, 60, 80, 90 hours a week. There's not an infinite supply of money that you got coming in. You make enough oopsies, that can mean like a blown account if you're a trader, or that can mean just not having enough money to buy dips, or, you know, any number of things. So if we're just putting our dollars anywhere haphazardly and things are not going in our favor, you're putting yourself farther behind the 8 ball. You're putting yourself in a position where, like, wherever you're trying to get to is going to take longer. So again, I think most content creators, like, if, you know, when we go over TA, I'm telling you, hey, here's what the bullish scenario looks like, here's what the bearish scenario looks like. And then I basically go over and say, hey, here's which one I think is likely going to play out. What are my opinions on the market? This is from KLC. KLC, what I'm waiting to see here is I'm waiting to see if Bitcoin is going to retrace down to lower levels. That's where we're at. Altcoins don't look great. Retail doesn't have any money. I'm not really seeing a pathway for altcoin season to pop off and for things to go crazy. And I'm waiting to see if this little leg up that we have is going to produce a leg that's going to carry us down to fill a lot of these gaps. Long term, very bullish on Bitcoin, right? That hasn't changed. But just where we're at right now, you know, we got some variables we need to consider. Things don't look great macroeconomically. Rates have not turned into a place where it's going to be great for risk on assets. And I refuse just to be a perpetual moon boy. So when I look at these charts and I see prices beginning to slide, I'm like, hey, y'all, here's something that could happen. We could potentially go down to 74. We could close this CME gap. We could close this gap here at 85. We could go down lower. We could close the gap at, like, what is this, 80, 82. We could come down here. We could close this gap at CME. We come down here to 72, right? These are all things we need to be mindful of. Yeah, John, 100%. I think if you got the Doge stimmies, that can be something that can be a catalyst, right? And I'm glad you brought that up. Like, the whole entire thing is, what's the catalyst? Nothing happens just because, right? Tomorrow, Jerome Powell, if I have my information correct, tomorrow Jerome Powell is going to get on stage. He's going to say something about something somewhere. I don't know what the subject matter is, but normally when he gets on stage, it moves markets. I think it's CPE, something like that. Is it as big as the FOMC meeting? No. Is it as big as, you know, when they discuss rate cuts? No. But it could potentially move the markets, either for the better or for the worse. We got to wait and see. But that could, in fact, be a catalyst. Nate, I think you're right. I think some people, right, are going to use that money to catch up on bills. But I guess what we should look at is, you know, what percentage would possibly make its way into crypto. Yeah, Venez, if his whatever he's talking about is going to be hawkish tomorrow, if in fact he is speaking tomorrow, and again, I just kind of heard this from somebody. I need to actually go back and fuck it, let's do it right now. Real quick, did y'all know a bear market is when asset prices slide 20% for an elongated duration of time? No? Now you do. What is Jerome Powell doing right now? Let's see if we can take a look at this calendar. Today's the 26th. 26. Commercial paper. Huh. H15 selected interest rates. What is this about? What is selected interest rates? Oh, they don't give this to you until it's over. Wow, that sucks. Homie has my interest on selected interest rates. He's going to be talking about that tomorrow. What time? At 4:15. So the markets will be closed, which means whatever he says, if it's got enough heft, if it's got enough gravity to it, the only market it's going to affect is obviously after hours trading for stocks and obviously crypto. So we're going to have to wait and see. What is selected interest rates? What's normally the topic when he talks about that? He talked about selected interest rates last week on Friday. Can we watch that? Oh God, Glenn wants us to watch a video. Yeah, man, I need to know exactly how this is going to affect the market, if it even is at all. How long is this? 30 minutes. Give me the Spark Notes.
Okay. I am delighted to welcome you to this year's Macroeconomics and Monetary Policy Conference. Now, this is one of the bank's most long-standing research events. The conference began nearly 50 years ago as an occasional topic-driven gathering designed to bring macro researchers and policymakers together to discuss and debate core issues.
So the summary is the Federal
related to
Reserve
the economy
Chairman
and
Philip N.
monetary
Jefferson
policy.
delivered remarks on central bank communication
Since
and
that
the
time, it has
Macroeconomics
become an
Monetary
annual event,
Policy
as many of
Conference
you
in
know,
San Francisco.
but its mission has really never changed.
All right.
The mission is the same: bring
I watched this
policymakers
on
and
my own time. I won't
macroeconomists.
bother y'all with this. This might, whatever he's going to talk about tomorrow may not have a huge impact on the markets. Obviously, we're still going to pay attention to it. It seems like he talks about selected interest rates pretty regularly, so it probably won't have that big of effect on markets. FOMC meeting is when? Kept unchanged. Yeah. Commercial paper foreign exchange. The next meeting is March 19th. March 18th, 19th. That is a big date you got to be looking at. The instrumental playlist, Daily Trap. I think this was uploaded like 9 years ago. Yeah, so the next big date, March 18th, March 19th, 2025. It's a little over what, 2 weeks? 1, 2, 3, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. What's CPE or CPI? Come on. Okay, I know it's in March, but when? March has got the potential to be a big month for crypto. We got CPI and the FOMC. It's going to be released April 10th, is that right? Alright. I'm going to have to figure that out. I feel like I'm getting a little sleepy and like my search engine is getting a little weary. That's going to do it for this live. Good night, Glenn. Thanks all for the information you provided us. Javier, you are absolutely welcome, family. Y'all know how I like to end my lives. Gotta say what's up to the top viewers. Oh, it's gonna be a short list today. V Nizzle Original with the roses. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. We got Kelly, V Nizzle, Pluto, my guy, Woke Crypto Adopter, Marcelo, John Smith as the top viewers. I have no idea how TikTok calculates that. They just provide the names and I read them. Can I get some extras in here? Tiki talk. I guess not. Maybe it's number like most active. I don't know. At any rate, listen, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. You guys decided to come back here on a Tuesday night. Come hang out with your guy. Come hang out with chat. I appreciate that. Yeah, Kelly, definitely send me over your email. We're going to run it back tomorrow during the lunch hour, see what we got going on in the market. And we're just going to keep an eye on this thing. And whatever new updates arise, we're going to go based off of that. Again, personally, I think the market could retrace back to 74, right? Actually, let's do this the right way. I think the market could retrace back to like the 85, 84 area before 83, 82, obviously. We got a double fill value gap at around 78. CME from 78 to about 74, I think it is. $80 to 78 is a fair value gap. I'm sorry, not the fair value gap, but the CME gap that I'd like to see closed. So that's going to mean, hey, we got to come in here and fill a lot of these different gaps. And if we can get that, so be it. 92.4 is the price that Bitcoin has got to try to eclipse if the bulls are going to try to come over and make a stand and push this thing back to the upside. All right. I'm available. I'm around. If y'all got questions, hit me in the DM either on Twitter or here on TikTok. All right. Appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming to hang out. Woke, thank you so much. Nizzle, thank you so much. Marcelo, Kelly, Pluto, Big Nate, Tony the Tiger, EM Brook, Angel Money. Okay, they're expanding the list now. Finally, Javier, Neo, and Traderholics. Appreciate y'all for coming to hang out. H Brown, appreciate you, G Money. No, man, I appreciate you guys. All right. Y'all make this whole entire thing worthwhile. Without y'all, I'm just some dude talking into the ethos. I will see you fine people and all your beautiful faces tomorrow. Y'all be good. Any questions between now and then, let me know. Thank y'all for the gifts. Thank y'all for being here. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. I will see y'all.